the history, the tradition, the fun of Kernels baseball. It's time for exciting live coverage of Kernels baseball, right here on the Kernels Radio Network. Now, the voice of the Kernels. In his 11th season, here's John Rogers.
It's a gorgeous Friday evening, and the Kernels conclude their four-game series with the St. Louis Cardinal minor leaguers, the swing of the Quad Cities. This evening, we're welcoming hundreds of kids, parents, and teachers from two schools, Truman Elementary and Hoover Elementary. And as is our custom every Friday on the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show, we talk baseball from a fan's perspective. We take your fans' questions for Colonel Skipper Bobby Magallanes. And Bobby, first up, this one's a question about philosophy and hitting, a little bit of both. Roy of Monticello would like to know which side of the fence, Bobby, you stand on in a difference of opinion he read about on hitting mechanics between Hall of Famer Ted Williams and renowned hitting expert Charlie Lau. According to Roy, Ted Williams advocated rolling the top hand and wrist over upon contact and follow-through. Charlie Lau believed the top hand should remain stable and behind the bat handle upon contact and no wrist rollover. Do you understand the question, Bobby, and where do you think you would fall on it?
I think both hands are important. You know, it's not just, I'm not a big believer in philosophies. I'm just a big believer that there's right ways of doing things, and both hands have a lot to do with hitting. But, you know, I mean, you don't want to roll, you concentrate so much on the top hand where you're rolling over everything, and now you're cutting your swing off, and you don't want to think so much just the bottom hand and not use the top hand, because all of a sudden now you're going to push the swing through. So they both, you know, they're both important, and you know, they're both real good hitting guys. You know, I mean, Charlie Lau had a lot of success, and obviously Ted Williams is one of the greatest hitters of all time. But you know, really, I'm not on either side. I just think, you know, I'm a big believer in the mechanics of the swing and being fundamentally sound.
Bobby, you've always maintained that hitting a baseball is the hardest skill to learn in athletics, and the second hardest thing to do in baseball is to teach hitting a baseball.
Yeah, I've asked that question. I asked the guys, hey, what's the hardest thing to do in baseball, in sports, and they say hit a baseball. What's the second hardest thing to do in sports? And when they quiet, I say teach it, teach hitting. That's one of the toughest things to do, because there's so many moving parts that, you know, you got to know each hitter and what works from. But again, I just believe in a fundamentally sound swing and teaching the right mechanics to really get into, I'm a big believer, get into the front side and using your lower half to swing the bat.
Bobby, one thing about Ted Williams and Charlie Lau, even though they did clash philosophically on some of the hitting mechanics, they both love talking hitting.
Yeah, I mean, and those are baseball guys. You know, that's their passion. You know, they love their job, and I love talking hitting. Now I'm a manager. I now talk a lot more pitching. I talk a lot more infield, outfield play, catching. You know, you're overlooking all these areas, which I'm loving. I'm learning. But you know, when you like what you do, you're always going to talk about it. And again, I'm again back to the question: what if I believe, you know, in both those philosophies? I'm a big believer in the lower half. That if you can get the lower half right, then, you know, the upper half takes care of itself.
Thanks, Bobby. Roy of Monticello, terrific question. And as Bobby said, hitting guys can talk hitting hour upon hour, day after day. Thanks, Roy, for contrasting Ted Williams and Charlie Lau. Now, Bobby, we're going to go on to Hiawatha, Iowa, here on the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show. Kathy of Hiawatha would like to know if intimidation is still a part of a modern-day pitcher's approach, like it was, and she mentions Don Drysdale, Bob Gibson, Early Wynn, Sal Magley, guys from the past. And she understands from being a regular listener, you and most good baseball people don't believe in trying to hurt another ball player and his career, but is intimidation still part of a pitcher's tools?
Yeah, you know, we preach it. I don't see it as much as it was, you know, in the old days. You know, I heard some stories, you know, from the coaches I had that played, you know, in the 50s and 60s, that how they pitched inside and everything. And nowadays, you know, you get warnings right away. You know, a guy gets hit and right away there's a warning, you can't hit a guy. Now, you know, that takes away from the aggressiveness of the pitcher to throw inside, which I think now that intimidation factor goes out the door now. And we believe that. I'm a big believer in pitching inside and doubling up inside and moving feet. You know, that's how you, as a pitcher, establishes the inside part of the plate to get hitters out of the way. And now hitters get comfortable because of that factor. You pitch inside, now there's going to be a brawl and umpires warning, and it's taken a lot for the aggressiveness of the pitcher.
Boy, great point, Bobby. I never thought of that added dimension of the umpire being a part of policing the game. And I know Mike Shannon and Ron Santo, two former great third basemen, now broadcasters, they both think that the game was a little better off when players policed it themselves.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's just, again, talking to the older coaches, they would tell us, hey, we got hit, we just took it. We got hit, we just took our base. There was no, going out and chasing the pitchers. We just took it with stride. And nowadays, a guy comes inside a little bit off the plate, and now the hitter gets all upset and is looking at the pitcher, staring him down. That's how fights are coming around. But again, the baseball has changed in that aspect, and I do believe that it's not the same intimidation factor as before.
Kathy, tremendous question. Bobby, again, thanks for bringing it into perspective what has caused that to change, and not to cast aspersions on the umpires. Their heart is in the right place to make sure nobody intentionally hurts someone, but there's that line, again, between moving a guy's feet, between sending him a message, between letting him know as a pitcher you have part of the plate. All of that, unfortunately, is very difficult for a pitcher to establish. We're going to take a break on the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show. It is a beautiful Friday evening. The Kernels, with the win this evening, would gain a split in their four-game series with the swing of the Quad Cities before opening up a four-game set, leg 2 of this homestand against the Oakland A minor leaguers, the Kane County Cougars. Bobby will field the final question next on the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show here on the Kernel Radio Network.
We're here for your communication needs. Internet service, telephone, and TV. As a cooperative telephone company, our members are owners who make a good team. Service second to none. South Slope Cooperative Communications. Turner Communications Triple Play. Voice, video, and data with South Slope Cooperative in North Liberty. South Slope's lineup features everything that connects you to information. Digital wireless phones, long-distance plans, data home and business wiring, video conferencing, dial-up and high-speed internet service, fiber optic installation and termination, and digital video TV service in most areas. For all your communication needs, think South Slope. Visit them at southslope.com.
Bobby, our third hitter in the lineup this evening on the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show is Samantha of Iowa City. She's a Texas Ranger fan of all things, and she'd like to know if you think Alfonso Soriano's, well, check that. She's a Washington National fan. Now that I read further down her question, she used to follow the Rangers when they had Alfonso Soriano, but she wants to know if you think Soriano's initial resistance to switching positions from second base to left field as a National, do you think it was based on the difficulty of learning a new position, or do you take a more cynical view? And she wants to know if you think Soriano's concerned that his great numbers on offense won't pay big dividends come salary negotiation time if he's an outfielder rather than a second baseman.
I don't know Alfonso Soriano at all as an individual, as a person, but it can be both ways on that. The one thing, just when I saw that he refused to take the field, that showed unprofessionalism. We're playing to help the team win, and that's been preached to us since we were little kids. Our parents taught us that, our Little League coaches taught us that, and now that professionals don't do that, that sends a wrong message to the rest of the young players. But obviously he's back out there again, and I guess sometimes players are maybe a little timid to try a new position. There might be some failure. Yeah, they've had success, and all of a sudden they don't want to look bad, and that's understandable. But again, he's a good athlete, and I think good athletes can play anywhere and on the field. And again, it's not something that the manager, I don't think, was going to show him up or anything on that. They just want what's best for the player, what's best for the team.
Yes, Bobby, exactly. And I'm glad that Alfonso Soriano has seen it the right way. And if you can't play for Frank Robinson, a Hall of Famer, and understand that that's what Frank wants is a team approach, Alfonso Soriano, I think, probably had a second thoughts and probably came to his senses.
Yeah, you know what? Again, he's still a young player, and he showed a lot going out there, still playing out there. And he's a great ball player. I mean, gosh, this guy, this guy can hit. He's a very, very good offensive player, and the bottom line is win. I mean, Alex Rodriguez switched positions. He didn't, he swallowed this prize. And, hey, I just want to win, and that's what we're trying to preach as an organization ourselves here. Is teach them how to be winners and teach them how to be team players.
Bobby, thanks so much. Samantha, tremendous question and insight in your question. Bobby, we appreciate this. I know that you're a little bit weary, but for good cause. You picked up your wife, Claudia, and Paulina, and Claudia and your new baby boy, and when they're here this spring and summer, I know you've been saving these $5 gift certificates to Zio Giano's perfect pasta homemade bread, pasta that makes the Colonel Clubhouse sing. Colonel Manager Bobby Magianis, thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure, John. Thanks.
That's the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show. As always, Bobby Magianis really thinking about your fans' questions and taking good cracks at them. Up next, series finale lineups, Kernels and Quad City. I'll have them for you in just a moment here on the Kernel Radio Network.
Service second to none. South Slope Cooperative. We're here for your communication needs. Internet service, telephone, and TV. As a cooperative telephone company, our members are owners who make a good team. Service second to none. South Slope Cooperative Communication. Kerner Communications Triple Play. Voice, video, and data with South Slope Cooperative in North Liberty. South Slope's lineup features everything that connects you to information. Digital wireless phones, long-distance plans, data home and business wiring, video conferencing, dial-up and high-speed internet service, fiber optic installation and termination, and digital video TV service in most areas. For all your communication needs, think South Slope. Visit them at southslope.com.
Good evening, everyone. We're kicking off the weekend in grand style at Veterans Memorial Stadium. 72 degrees, beautiful crystal clear blue skies, and the Kernels and swing of the Quad Cities tangling in the series finale that saw the Kernels win the series opener here Tuesday night 7-2, and then fall to the swing the last two evenings 5-1 Wednesday night, and last night the swing routed the Kernels 10-5. We should have one of the premier pitching matchups in all the Midwest League's first half this evening. Colonel right-hander Nick Adenhart is 6-0. That's the most wins in the Midwest League. A 1.60 ERA, fourth lowest, and Nick is second in the league in strikeouts with 54. Meanwhile, the Swing have a 19-year-old phenom of their own, lefty Jaime García. Garcia's 2-2, but don't let that 500 record fool you. His ERA 2.36, and he has fanned 46 men in 42 innings. Let's get to the starting lineups as the kids from Hoover Elementary and Truman Elementary schools are enjoying the action here tonight. We'll hear from both schools' principals a little bit later this evening. Right now, the starting lineup for the Swing of the Quad Cities, they're coached, or managed rather, by Keith Mitchell, who's the brother of former National League MVP Kevin Mitchell. The Swing's record is 16-21. Their victory last night, coupled with their win Wednesday night, represented the first time in over a month that they had won back-to-back ball games. They're 10-9 on the road this season. Daniel Nelson, a speedster, switch hitter from Los Angeles, will lead off. He's at third base, Daniel Nelson. Batting second, he's hit 2 home runs in the last 2 games, second baseman Jose Martinez. Colby Rasmus, 19-year-old Cardinal first-round draft pick last year, has been phenomenal in this series. He has 8 hits. Colby's batting .314, third or sixth highest average in the league. Randy Roth will bat cleanup and play at first base for the Swing. Roth leads the league in home runs with 11. Brandon Yarbrough, a left-handed hitting catcher, is serving as the DH tonight. Yarbrough's .308 average, 9th best in the Midwest League. Batting sixth, he had 3 hits last night. Left fielder A.J. Van Slyke. Van Slyke out of the University of Kansas, the son of former Cardinal and Pirate great center fielder Andy Van Slyke. The catcher's Bryan Anderson. He'll bat 7th. Anderson is 10th in the league in hitting with a .307 average. The swing starting lineup features 3 of the 10 league's top hitters. Luis Cotto will bat 8th. He's the shortstop. And batting 9th in right field, he had 3 hits in the swing win last night. Casey Roulette in right field, batting 9th. On the hill, as I told you, a lefty born in Mexico but schooled in Sharyland, Texas. He grew up in Reynosa, Mexico, just across the border. 19-year-old Cardinal 20th round pick last year, Jaime García. Garcia's 2-2, a 2.36 ERA, and the league is hitting a paltry 200 against Garcia. Anderson and Brown Eye Care is proud to bring us the Kernels starting lineup this evening. Anderson and Brown Eye Care, Allen Motor Company is proud to bring us. I looked down and saw the umpires. Well, what the heck? The umpires are sponsored by Anderson and Brown Eye Care. Their new location is on Boyson Road in Hiawatha. Maybe that's why I got them mixed up with Allen Motor Company as well. They're both right off I-380 Boyson Road, exit 25. Anderson and Brown Eye Care sponsors our umpires. Anderson and Brown Eye Care is easy in, easy out in their new location on Boyson Road in Hiawatha. They're a full-service comprehensive eye care center. You can have your eyes examined and then pick out your glasses and or contact lenses right on site at Anderson and Brown Eye Care. Things are coming into focus at Anderson and Brown Eye Care. They sponsor our umpires, and those umpires are about to receive the starting lineups for tonight's game. We gave you the swing starting 9. Allen Motor Company is proud, as always, to present the Allen Motor Company Kernel starting lineup. Allen's is open until 5 o'clock tomorrow. And you can visit their spectacular 13-acre campus, I-380 and Boyson Road, exit 25. And a trip to Allen's is well worth it. The 13-acre campus has a tremendous selection of value, quality, and price. 2005 Buick LeSabres, 2005 Buick Centuries, and 2006 Buick Rendezvous. If you purchase now at Allen's, your first year's maintenance is on Allen Motor Company. That's right. Your first year's maintenance is free when you purchase a 2006 Buick Rendezvous, 2005 Buick LeSabre, or 2005 Buick Century at Allen Motor Company. Leading off for the Kernels in center field, Brad Kuhn. He's second in the league with 14 stolen bases. Marco Albano will bat second. He'll be at second for the Kernels. In right field, Jordan Renz. Renz leads the Kernels in batting average, home runs, RBIs, and extra base hits. The Kernel cleanup batters at third base, Dallas Morris. Flint Whipke will be catching this evening, and Whipke will bat fifth. In left field in the Allen Motor Company starting lineup is Stantrell Smith. Smith will hit sixth. Hitting seventh, Travis Schlichting at first base. Schlichting will be at first base this evening. The Kernel designated hitter is Brett Martinez. Martinez hits eighth in the Allen Motor Company order, and batting ninth and playing shortstop is Larry Infante. Larry's playing for the first time since last Saturday evening in Clinton. And on the hill for the Kernels is right-hander Nick Adenhart. He leads the league with 6 wins. He's 6-0. Nick is coming off a win on Mother's Day at Alliant Energy Field, a 2-1 win. He spun 7 innings at the Lumber Kings, surrendered only 1 run on 7 hits, struck out 8, walked none. Nick Adenhart, 19-year-old right-hander from Maryland with a 1.60 ERA, will be on the hill for the Kernels this evening. The kids from Hoover and Truman Elementary Schools have dashed onto the diamond. They're the members of our Cost Cutters Dream Team. Boy, they're in center field. They're a little bit deep. There's a kid out on the warning track with his buddy 400 feet away, and the girls in right field are kind of deep, too. They're out in front of the University of Iowa black and gold sign in deep right center. Those kids will trot in a little bit in more shallow position to receive the autographs on their Cost Cutters Dream Team soft toss baseballs. So while we have a moment, Dale Brook, the public address announcer, is giving the lineups. Let's remind you that on Tuesday, the Miller Mezzanine Terrace, the premier spot to enjoy the action here at Veterans Memorial Stadium. That's a noon start this Tuesday. The Miller Mezzanine Terrace will be open to you, the public. For just $11, you can sit up in the gray balcony seats and have the panoramic, breathtaking view of the Diamond, the Cedar Rapids skyline, and the scoreboard. The Miller Mezzanine Terrace will be open to the public on Tuesday. The gates open at 11 for a noon start, as we'll be wrapping up this 8-game homestand on Tuesday. The Kernel record is 19-22. The Kernels are in sole possession of 4th place in the Western Division first-half standings, but we've slipped 4 games back of the division-leading Peoria Chiefs, 3.5 behind second-place Kane County. The Kernels are now 3 lengths in back of Beloit, and of utmost concern, the Kernel lead over the Burlington Bees and our opponents, the Swing of the Quad Cities, has been shaved to 1/2 game. Just 1/2 game a lead for the Kernels over Burlington in the Swing. So this is a big homestand, and certainly the Kernels hope to gain a split in this 4-game series with a win tonight. It won't be easy because we're facing the best pitcher for the Swing, 19-year-old lefty Jaime García. Mr. Shucks has made his appearance down below, and he's getting this big crowd revved up on this gorgeous Friday evening. It's wonderful to have you with us here on 1450 KMRY Cedar Rapids. And we have groups we'd like to welcome. Not only big contingents from Truman School, 182, Hoover Elementary School, 87 kids, parents, and teachers, but Cal Wilson's birthday party is here as well, and he's brought 44 of his best friends. We had a pregame picnic. We hosted a pregame picnic, and it was the folks from New Horizons Computer Learning Center enjoying the fun of food and a picnic atmosphere down the left field line. On the Miller Mezzanine Terrace above the Kernel first base dugout this evening, over 260 from the ESCO group. And out on the Miller Mezzanine, or out on the Randy Keel Confidence Picnic Pavilion and left, we have 4 groups: the City of Coralville, Quantrex Data Systems, CRST Logistics Department, and the law firm of Moyer and Bergman. So we have big groups here to watch the series finale between the Kernels and the Swing of the Quad Cities. The Kernels are taking the field, being introduced individually, and the last Kernel to take the diamond is pitcher Nick Adenhart. After Nick reaches the hill and is greeted by his 2 Cost Cutters Dream Team companions, we'll pause to hear a message from Wendy's and then enjoy the singing and playing of the Star Spangled Banner. Wonderful night. Great to have you with us. Nick Adenhart has arrived on the hill, and let's now join the public address system for the honorable message from Wendy's and the introduction of our national anthem singer.
Please stand as Wendy's presents our national anthem.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, honor America. Please join in the singing of our national anthem. It's being performed this evening by Bethany Hope.
an inspirational, uplifting beginning to this ball game. I've heard Vicki Mueters-King, Sue Sample, Clancy Harrington, and they all do a great job, as does our singer tonight, Bethany Pope. The plate umpire is talking it over with Keith Mitchell, and the plate umpire had some trouble with the independent umpire, that is, had some trouble with Keith Mitchell, and I think we may have a change in the Quad City lineup. The umpire's taken out his lineup card, and he's either adding someone or scratching someone out, so we'll have to keep you posted if we find out that the Swing have changed their starting lineup. Let's set the Kernels for you tonight defensively. In left field, Stantrell Smith. Brad Kuhn is in center. Jordan Renz in right. At third, it's Dallas Morris. Larry Infante giving Heinle Stacia a night off is at short. At second, Marco Albano, and Travis Schlichting is at first base. A battery of Nick Adenhart and Flint Whipke. The Cost Cutters Dream Team members are leaving the field from behind home plate. It'll be Daniel Nelson to lead off for this hot-hitting Quad City Ball Club. The Swing is ranked second in the league with a .266 team batting average. They're fourth in the league in home runs with 25, and they're second to the Kernels in steals with 47. So they are a very high-powered, capable offense, and they've shown that in this series. Daniel Nelson, a .246 hitter, will be first up for Quad City on this glorious, sunshiny, 72-degree evening. And the Swing are in their burnt Texas orange tops with North Carolina baby blue numbers and North Carolina baby blue letters across the front of those Texas burnt orange jerseys. They also wear burnt orange socks. The Kernels in their white home uniforms with red numbers, navy blue caps, red bills. The sun is spectacular here, and we're ready for action as Daniel Nelson is the first up. The Quad City leadoff man singled in a run and scored in the Swing 5-run fourth inning last night. Nick Adenhart's first pitch to the switch hitter is cut on and missed. Strike one. And Nelson steps out. Daniel hitting .246, a couple of homers, 11 RBIs. He's 3 for 13 in this series, and he's a running threat if he gets aboard. 12 steals. He's only been caught once. The next pitch is sent foul off to the left. Strike two. Big crowd will be here tonight, over 2,000. The bulk of which are from Truman Elementary and Hoover Elementary Schools. A big 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock breaking pitch. Did the batter go around? The plate umpire points down to his partner, who's perched back of first base just in foul ground, and the safe signal is given. So the batter, Nelson, did hold up on time. Kuhn is playing shallow in left center, and a fastball swung on and missed. Daniel Nelson strikes out swinging, one away here in the Swing first inning.
Number 10, second baseman.
Jose Martinez has had his way with the Colonel pitchers the last couple of nights. Martinez, a .241 hitter in 16 games, has socked a pair of home runs in the last two ball games. He stands in and takes a fastball for a strike. Jose socked a 3-run homer in the fourth, and that gave the Quad City Ball Club an insurmountable 7-1 lead. The 0-1 from Adenhart is a fastball down the middle at the knee, strike two. With Johnson City last year in the Appalachian League in Tennessee, this Venezuelan hit 355 games. Straightaway stance, right-handed batter Jose Martinez. Nubs one hop to the left of Nick Adenhart. He picks it up on one hop and tosses out Jose Martinez. Jose Martinez bounces back to the hill. 2 away here in the Swing first inning. Nick Adenhart's numbers are astoundingly impressive. In 50 2/3 innings, he's only allowed 37 hits. Nick has fanned a second highest strikeout total in the league of 54 batters. Left-handed swinging Colby Rasmus fouls the first pitch straight back, strike one. Nick Adenhart has only walked 10 batters in 50 2/3 innings. Colby Rasmus, 2 for 4 last night, drove in a run and scored a run. Fastball just inside, and that's ball one. Colby Rasmus, 2 for 3 Tuesday night, 4 for 5 Wednesday night, 2 for 4 last night. He's hitting .314, and a breaking pitch is down and in for ball two. Brad Kuhn is shading the left-handed hitter, Colby Rasmus, to hit the other way. Colby's from Russell County High School in Alabama. 19-year-old Cardinal first-round pick, and he swings early on a changeup, strike two. Very difficult for the batters now because they're in the shadows being cast by the grandstand roof, whereas the pitchers are standing in bright, glistening sunshine, and it makes it double tough for the hitters to pick up the release. Colby Rasmus does, though, and he rips one fair into the right field corner. His 9th hit of the series. It gets hung up in the Colonel bullpen, but getting to it to prevent Rasmus from trying for 3 is Jordan Renz. Colby Rasmus has 9 hits in this series. The Cardinals drafted him first last year, and he is setting the Midwest League on its ear in terms of his offensive production. Wow, 9 hits in the series for the 19-year-old left-handed batter. Randy Roth with a 2-out RBI chance. Randy, 1 for 5 last night, steps out as a speck of dust got in his eyes. Roth is a .299 hitter. 11 home runs, 32 runs driven in, and Nick Adenhart steps off the rubber, and that causes Randy Roth to back out for just a moment. Randy's a strong right-handed batter, and he looks at strike one on the outside edge. Randy Roth, 6'1", 205, Southeastern Louisiana University is where he hails from. A Cardinal 10th-round pick last year, and he batted .286 between Johnson City and New Jersey. Roth leans back from a curve upstairs, and it's up and in, and it's ball one. Colby Rasmus is in scoring position with 2 out here in the top of the first inning for Quad City. Big yellow hammer, and the plate umpire says ball 2 high. Colby Rasmus, with his 9th hit of the series, is leading away at second. Nick Adenhart, working deliberately, comes set below the chin, the 2-1. Strike 2 called on the outside corner, a fastball. A light breeze is blowing in from right center field. The flag above the 403 sign in right center is indicating the breeze blowing in. Randy Roth tips the 2-2 pitch foul behind the plate. 2 gone, runner at second. Nelson Mendoza is going to join us in the Colonel half of this first inning and share some good news with us about his high school team down in Florida. And I know he has a number of friends listening to the Colonel broadcast, and he'll have some great news about the... There's a throw to second. Oh, brother. Larry Infante put the tag on Colby Rasmus, and he looked to have him. But the base umpire said safe, and the base umpire was only about 15, 20 feet away from the corner of the bag. He had the best look at it of anyone. Now Randy Roth waits for the 2-2 and bounces it weakly to the left side. It's cut off by Dallas Morris, who throws wide, but Travis Schlichting comes off the base to the home plate side at first and snags it and then tags the batter, Randy Roth. Well, Dallas Morris made a good play to his left to cut that weakly hit grounder off, but then he almost threw it away. Travis Schlichting, with some slick glove work, came off to the home plate side at first and tagged out Randy Roth as Randy tried to whisk by him. Nick Adenhart has pitched around a 2-out double by Colby Rasmus. No runs for the swing in the first. 1 hit. There were no Colonel errors, and the Quad City leaves 1 aboard. After 1 half inning, swing nothing, Colonel's coming to bat. You're tuned to Colonel Baseball on the Colonel Radio Network.
Fairfax State Savings Bank is paying you to come to the ballpark every Wednesday this season. You heard right. Fairfax State Savings Bank is paying you to come to Veterans Memorial Stadium every Wednesday this season. The first 750 of you Colonel fans to enter the gates before Wednesday's home game will receive an envelope full of money inside from Fairfax State Savings Bank. Each of those 750 envelopes will contain a greenback up to a $100 bill. Fairfax State Savings Bank, free money Wednesdays. Come early to line your pocket with cash.
Meet Jim. Well, it's nice how he spends weekends in his yard trying to kill weeds. Gotcha. Meet Dave. He spends weekends on the green. That's because Greg's Lawn Service takes care of his lawn. Mowing, fertilizing, pruning, and, weed control. Greg's does the big jobs, too. Landscaping, retaining walls, curb edging, and patios. So when you've had enough of those little devils...
Yes.
Call 393-0101. Greg's Lawn Service, a cut above the rest.
Hi, I'm Tanya Sedlock, your local Pekin insurance agent at Andrews Insurance here in Cedar Rapids. We all know how quickly life can change. You buy a new car or a new home. Your family is blessed with a new baby. Your teenager starts driving the family car. I'm here to help with a complete line of insurance plans to give you protection when you need it the most. Pekin Insurance has been in business of insuring people for 85 years. I'm here to put your interests first. Please visit me, Tanya Sedlock, at the Andrews Agency.
Nick Adenhart pitched around a two-out double by Colby Rasmus, and we go to the bottom of the first inning. No score. Brad Kuhn is first up for the Kernels. Brad, 0-for-3 last night. Walked in the first, but was picked off, and then he laid down a sacrifice bunt in the third that helped the Kernels score a run. The lefty, Jaime García from Mexico, misses low, ball one. Now a strike call to Kuhn. Brad's wearing his Red Sox up high, and he has Daniel Nelson breathing right down his throat. Nelson, the third baseman, is a good 5 feet in on the grass, trying to guard against a bunt. Kuhn slaps the 1-1 pitch foul, and Brad falls behind 1-2. We've had the joy and blessing of meeting Angelinos and Nelson Mendoza, the parents of the fine Colonel 18-year-old right-hander Tommy Mendoza. And we're going to share some good news with you about, here's a fastball just outside, about Nelson's high school team, Monsignor Pace, down in Hialeah, Florida. And we'll do that. We'll bring Nelson to the mic right after this 2-2 pitch from the southpaw to the Colonel left-handed batter, Kuhn. A high pop foul off to the left. Well, Nelson, some great news from the state tournament in Sarasota.
Yeah, it is. They were in a big game today, 8-1. They advance tomorrow, play 7 o'clock at night for the championship high school state tournament. That's awesome. They don't do that for 1985, 21 years. 21 years since Monsignor Pace in Hialeah, Florida, has made the state finals. And you were telling me, Nelson, before you came on, that the high school baseball tournament in Florida is as big as the World Series. Yeah, it is. There's a good competition, good baseball. And, I mean, this is like a World Series.
Brad lines it over the head of the third baseman. Fair ball down the left field line off the tarp. A.J. Van Slyke retrieves it with his bare hand and heaves it into the third base bag. It's a double, a slicing double for Brad Kuhn. Brad sliced it between the base and Daniel Nelson. Nelson dove to his left. After he couldn't get a glove on it, it was a matter of fair or foul, and it was fair, Nelson, I would say, by less than an inch. Yeah. And the plate umpire got the call right. Runner at second. Good call. Nobody out. And, Nelson, I know that a lot of your colleagues and friends and maybe even some of the coaches on Monsignor Pace are tuned in tonight, and I want to give you a chance after this first pitch to Marco Albano to recognize them as the left-hander steps off. Well, I would say thank you to you, John. Like I said in the beginning, you're a tremendous person. And I say hello to the Florida. I know a lot of people listen to me, especially Claudia. I love you. And let's see what happens tomorrow. Thank you, John. Oh, you bet, Nelson. Albano squares to bunt and takes low. Now, Nelson, you're a baseball man. Interesting that Bobby Magallanes, knowing they have their best pitcher out there this evening, Bobby, at least initially, is going to try to bunt Kuhn from second to third, even though we're in the first inning and we're the home team. In this situation, we have to do something, score the first innings. Yes, because we have been plagued by a lack of offense all year. Ball two outside to Marco. Albano from Boston College, a .244 hitter. In limited duty with the Kernels, 11 games, no homers, 4 RBIs. Marco was not bunting on that last pitch. Let's see if he's bunting here on the 2-0 delivery. He is, and he lays one down foul. It rolls towards the on-deck hitter. I want to get your thoughts on bunting, Nelson. It's not done nearly as well as it used to be at all levels, including the big leagues. Bruce Hines, who's known as Jeter, the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim roving field coordinator, has a philosophy about bunting. I'll share it with you and see what you think in a moment.
Okay.
The 2-1 to Marco. He squares the bunt, and the pitch inside. Kuhn held up. Kuhn thought about trying to go to third because the pitch flipped off the mid of catcher Bryan Anderson, but it only rolled 15 feet to the left of the plate up the third base line, and very good decision by Brad Kuhn not to run. Bruce Hines believes that when you practice bunting, he tries to do it as a competition or a game situation. He thinks that guys that try to bunt off pitching machines, here's a ball 4 high to Marco Albano. Hines thinks that a lot of guys don't concentrate enough when they try to bunt off a machine.
Well, you got to make some plays like bunt is one of the best hits in the game. Sometimes you got to move the runners no matter what, even in Major League. And they don't do it done, and they said at the end of the over, you got man first and second. Now you got your third hole, you let him hit. It's definitely if you got a guy in third base, and you clean him here right here.
Yes. So here comes the umpire to speed up a meeting between Bryan Anderson and Jaime García. Garcia last pitched Saturday in Burlington in game 1 of a doubleheader. He was involved in a no decision. He went 6 innings, allowed 1 run on 3 hits, struck out 6, walked 2, as Quad City lost in 10 innings in that game 1 of a twin bill in Burlington. We're going to stand by and answer an important question here in a moment as Jordan Renz lifts the first pitch foul towards the plaza section, and I'll be darned, it's caught by Randy Roth. Randy Roth caught that foul pop. And that's one big out here in the Kernel first inning. Well, that's a big out as Jordan Renz fouls out to Randy Roth right in front of the plaza section. Those folks are basking in sunshine. And I understand, Nelson Mendoza, as Dallas Morris bats, that you have heard from one of your friends or fellow coaches down in Florida. And are they staying overnight in Sarasota, Nelson?
Yes, I have one of the coaches right now on the line. And I said congratulations to all my senior base and all the guys from Miami. Congratulations.
Oh, that is great. One guy's right on the line. That is super. Ball 1 high to Dallas Morris. 2 on, 1 out. Morris swings and misses, but the ball gets away from the catcher, and the runners advance. Kuhn to third, Albano to second. That's a big pass ball or wild pitch. I think it'll be a pass ball. We didn't score, but we got runners to second and third, Nelson, on, I think, a pass ball charged to the catcher. Yes, a pass ball. Nelson, now, are you heading down? Okay, Nelson. Thank you. Okay. All right. Second and third. 1 out. And Dallas Morris at the plate. A looper into shallow center. It falls for a base hit. 1 run is in. Albano's going to be held at third. Now the center fielder throws to third. Marco gets back. A base hit into center by Dallas Morris gives the Kernels a big run here in the first inning. Dallas plugged it off his trademark, dumped it into shallow center. Colby Rasmus raced in to field it. Kuhn scored from third. Marco Albano took a big turn around third. Marco held on wisely. And now the Kernels, thanks to Dallas Morris and his 16th RBI of the year, lead it 1-0. Flint Whipke becomes a key man in this inning. Flint, a right-handed batter with a .264 average. So the Kernels have gotten a run off of the star lefty, Jaime García. He throws to first, low, and it's picked off the shoe tops of Randy Roth. Brad Kuhn scored on the base hit. Into shallow center by Dallas Morris. Flint Whipke, 0-for-3 last night. He walked in the third, but then he was thrown out trying to steal third to end that inning. Flint, a right-handed hitting catcher, batting fifth in the Allen Motor Company order. Grounds one into left. That's a base hit. Stopping at second is Dallas Morris, trotting home to make it 2-0 Kernels. Marco Albano. Flint Whipke grounded one sharply to the left of Daniel Nelson, the third baseman. Drives home the second Kernel run of the first inning. It's Flint's 12th RBI of the year, and the Kernels lead it 2-0 here in the bottom of the first inning. And that prompts a visit to the hill by the former Cardinal lefty Bryan Anderson. The Kernels have 3 hits and a walk here in the first inning and lead the swing 2-0. Eversgerd gathers around his middle infielders, the catcher, as they talk to Jaime García. Mind you, the Kernels are doing this against the Swing's premier pitcher, Lefty Garcia. In 42 innings, he's struck out 46 batters, surrendered only 31 hits in 42 innings, walked a dozen, and the league hitting just 200 against left-hander Jaime García. Dantrell Smith has had a terrific series, 4 for 9. Last night, 2 for 4. He tripled and scored in the 5th inning. Smith, a right-handed batter. The runners go. Santrell, a swing and a miss. Throw to third, not in time. And that's a double steal. Dallas Morris beat the peg by the catcher, Bryan Anderson. And Flint Whipke on the back end of the steal goes to second. Santrell Smith, protecting Dallas Morris, swung at a delivery down and in. Corkscrewed himself into the ground, did not interfere, though, with the throwing motion of catcher Bryan Anderson. And now Quad City brings the infield in for the play at the plate. Santrell Smith bats with virtually no bend in his knees, cocks his wrist back and forth, and dribbles a curveball in on his hands foul to the base of the backstop. Wouldn't it be great if Santrell could at least provide a fly ball here? 2-0 Kernels. Bottom of the first inning on a beautiful Friday night. Dallas Morris at third. Flint Whipke at second. Infield in for the Swing, the 0-2 from the Swing southpaw. Curve, strike 3 call. That was a big league curveball that broke over the outside of the plate. Strike 3 to Santrell. Boy, Jaime García exhibiting a unhittable breaking pitch on that 0-2 delivery. Well, let's see if Travis Schlichting can pick up Santrell Smith and drive home a run here in the Kernel 2-run first inning. Travis is batting 7th in the Allen Motor Company order. Schlichting was 2 for 4 last night. Scored on a balk in the third. That cut the Swing lead to 2-1 in the early going. Fastball upstairs, ball 1 to Travis. Kuhn got it all started here in the first with a double past third. Fair by inches down the left field line. Travis watches the next delivery, a changeup sink low, ball 2. Outfield play Schlichting to hit the other way. Colby Rasmus is shaded way around into right center. Ball 3 up and in. Travis Schlichting is ahead. 3 balls, no strikes. Bobby Magianis facing the runner at second, Flint Whipke. Will Schlichting swing on the 3-0 offering? No, and it's downstairs, the second walk of the inning, and the bases are loaded for Brett Martinez. Brett, struggling recently with the bat, hitting .225, No homers, 11 RBIs. Brett did not play in last night's Quad City 10-5 win here. Brett Martinez, with the bases loaded and 2 out, trying to make it a bigger Kernel inning than it's been. 2-0 Kernels. Martinez, a right-handed batter, looks at strike one called on the outside edge. Jaime García is not a big guy. He's 6'1", 205. Making his 8th start of the year, has the 10th lowest ERA in the league, 2.36. Morris at third, Flint Whipke at second, Travis Schlichting at first for the Kernels. Big cut fastball, curveball, strike 2 called. That froze Brett Martinez. Now Brett is at the mercy of the Quad City lefty. No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Curve and a swing and a miss. So we see why Jaime García is so highly regarded. He strikes out Stantrell Smith looking and Brett Martinez swinging to prevent the Kernels from making it a huge first inning, but the Kernels send 8 men to the plate and strike for 2 runs. On 3 hits, 2 walks, no swing errors, and the Kernels leave the bases loaded. A good start to Hoover and Truman Elementary School nights here at the ballpark. After 1, Kernels lead the swing 2-0. You're enjoying Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
There's a lot you can do to satisfy your taste for Italian. You can marry one. Do you, Susan Smith, take Giuseppe Florentino? You can drive one. Or you can go to Zio Giano's and feast on Zio's homemade bread, pizzas, and pasta, authentically prepared to Zio Giano's famous Italian style. Zio Giano's for the hometown taste of Italy.
Oh, come to Zio Giano's, the pasta makes you Zio. Come to Zio Giano's for real Italiano. Come to Zio Giano's, the pasta makes.
What do I get at Cost Cutters? Hey, my hair is my trademark. I gotta be able to count on a good cut and stuff to keep my hair looking thick, even if it's not.
I get a good cut, no long wait, a smile, and a little something left over in my wallet.
I get little trims that keep my hair long and healthy, and stuff to make it loose and curly one day, straight and sassy the next.
With expert stylists trained in the latest trends and techniques and your favorite professional styling and hair care products, you'll always get what you're looking for at Cost Cutters. At Cost Cutters, you can always count on convenient, affordable, professional care and products that help you create just the style you want. At Cost Cutters, you'll always get a little more.
What do I get at Cost Cutters? A slick, clean cut, great highlights, and a little wig from the hottest stylist I've ever seen.
On this beautiful Friday evening, the Kernels battling the swing of the Quad Cities in a premier pitching duel, at least on paper, and the Kernels strike for a pair to give Nick Adenhart a lift. Nick is ready to go to Brandon Yarborough, left-handed hitter, and a fastball just inside ball 1. 3:15 down the line here at Veterans Memorial Stadium, a 16-foot high padded wall leading up to the Randy Keel Confidence Picnic Pavilion. A 4-tiered structure, wood, with hundreds of picnic tables and hundreds of picnickers. Strike 1 to Yarborough, a 308 hitter. Brandon swings late and misses, strike 2. That looked to be a changeup, Brandon waited on it and still mistimed it. Yarborough took the collar last night, 0 for 5. Fastball, the Kernels wanted the call, didn't get it from the plate umpire. It evens the count to the 308 hitter. With 1 home run, 12 RBIs, Brandon Yarborough played in 38 games for Quad City last year, a 5th-round pick by the Cardinals in 2003. Here's a high pop foul headed toward the grass slope seating berm. Chasing over is Dallas Morris, but the Colonel third baseman watches it sail up onto the slope. It's 378 to left center field here at Veterans Memorial Stadium, an 8-foot high green padded wall. Above that wall, 10 signs, multicolored trivisions. Ooh, a borderline pitch apparently downstairs, and the count now full to Yarborough as the plate umpire gets some heat from the Colonel first base dugout. Nick's payoff pitch. Fastball, swing and a miss. Nick Adenhart records his second strikeout of the evening. It looked like he had strike 3 on the pitch before, but the plate umpire ruled it ball 3. A.J. Van Slyke is 4 for 4 in this series. He sparked a Quad City 3-run ninth 2 nights ago on Wednesday night with a leadoff pinch hit single, 1 for 1. Then last night, A.J. was 3 for 3 with a walk, and he scored 3 runs. Open stance. University of Kansas product takes strike 1 at the letters, a fastball. A.J. Van Slyke, a 23rd round pick by the Cardinals last year. Slices the 0-1 pitch foul. It skips into the Quad City bullpen and then rolls on top of the tarp out to the left fielder, Stantrell Smith. It's 400 feet to dead center here at Veterans Memorial Stadium. 8-foot green high padded wall. Above it, a dark green net 20 feet high. A big yellow hammer, and Van Slyke pulls it foul off the first base railing in front of the Colonel dugout. 2-0 Kernels. Were in the top of the second inning. Van Slyke with an open stance loops the pitch foul just to our left to stay alive. A.J. steps out and tightens his batting gloves. The scoreboard here is 5 stories high. It's high above the right center field wall. The deepest part of this ballpark is right center, 403 feet. A.J. Van Slyke swings at a changeup, didn't get it, strike 3. A.J. Van Slyke goes down swinging. 2 gone here in the swing second inning as Nick Adenhart continues to dazzle and impress as a 19-year-old. Nick just seems so poised and calm. Like all great athletes or performers, he makes a very difficult task look almost easy. The first pitch is high over the head of the catcher, Flint Whipke, and thuds into the doors, the umpire's doors, behind home plate. Bryan Anderson at the plate with nobody on, 2 out. Here in the top of the second, Bryan Anderson is 10th in the league in hitting with a .307 average. Swing and a miss on a changeup. Anderson, 19 years old, a 4th-round pick by the Cardinals last year. Hit .331 with Johnson City in his rookie year of pro ball with 6 home runs and 36 RBIs in 51 games. He corks it on the ground to the right side. Marco Albano has it and feeds the first baseman Travis Schlichting with the toss to end the inning. Nick Adenhart posts a 1-2-3 second, striking out the first 2 and getting the third to ground out the second. After an inning and a half on this gorgeous Friday night, the Colonels lead the swing 2-0. This is Colonel Baseball on the Colonel Radio Network.
With spring comes a sound we're all familiar with, lawnmowers. The Solid Waste and Recycling Department encourages you to mulch your grass this year, though instead of bag. It's a practice known as grass cycling. Why grass cycling? Well, it saves time because you don't have to rake or bag your grass clippings. But it also saves money because those clippings contain essential nutrients, reducing your need for expensive fertilizers. Best of all, grass cycling helps to save landfill space. Do your part. Grass cycle. This message from the Solid Waste and Recycling Department.
Has your spring planning's been delayed by uncertain weather? Well, that's been the case for a lot of us. You can get started now with your spring planning with a visit to Peck's Flower and Garden Shop. For the very best plant selection and all the expert advice you'll need to make your plants grow their very best, visit Peck's. The greenhouses at Peck's are bursting with colors, gorgeous hanging baskets, rose bushes, patio plants, blooming annuals. Peck's has the best, newest bloomers for sunny and shady areas and the best producing tomato, vegetable, and herb plants. If your spring planting includes new landscaping, you can talk to Peck's as well. Choose your landscaping plants and trees from Peck's vast array of acres of expertly cared for trees, shrubs, evergreens, and perennial plants. Peck's Flower Shop and Garden Center, celebrating 50 years of growing since 1956. Peck's is open tomorrow until 5. bottom of the second inning. The Kernels send number 9 hitter Larry Infante up to face left-handed hurler Jaime García. Larry hasn't played since last Saturday in Clinton. Larry Infante batting .130 on the year, no homers, 5 RBIs. Larry's played in 17 of the 41 Kernel games so far this year. Larry Infante to face Garcia. And creeping in on the edge of the grass at third for the swing, Daniel Nelson. A drag bunt up in the air and over the backstop, strike one to Infante. Larry tried to drag one down the first baseline, but popped it foul over the screen. The Kernels are batting .248 as a ball club, 9th in the 14-team Midwest League. Infante with a straightaway stance. And this one is dribbled foul up the first base side off the foot of Larry Infante. Larry steps all the way out on the back perimeter of the dirt batting circle. Down in the count, no balls, 2 strikes. The Kernels have walloped 26 home runs this season, and that is the 3rd highest total in the Midwest League. And each of those home runs represents a $25 donation from PRC's Community Care to the Haycap Food Reservoir in PRC's Home Runs for the Hungry campaign. Curveball is high and away to Infante. Mark Trumbo belted his 5th of the year last night in the 9th inning. Mark isn't in the Allen Motor Company Kernel starting lineup this evening, but that was another $25 from the Community Care Department of PRC to the Haycap Food Reservoir here in Cedar Rapids. Knee-buckling curve, and Larry Infante is gone looking for the first out here in the Kernel second inning. 3rd strikeout for Jaime García. We didn't have a chance last night due to our parade of welcome visitors to share a baseball fun fact with you, but we're going to right now. We're going to go all the way back to 1944. Known as the war years in the big leagues, Brad Kuhn tries to bunt, and he fouls it straight back, strike one. 1944, the Cardinals won the National League with a 105-49 record. Their shortstop was a trim, lean, 6'3" star named Marty Marion. His nickname, Slats, S-L-A-T-S. Curve to Kuhn, and he ducks, and it's just inside, ball one. Marty Marion hit .267 for the National League champion Cardinals in 44 with 6 home runs and 63 RBIs, yet he won the National League MVP with those modest numbers, partly because of his great defense. A fastball from Garcia, and it's a strike at the letters to Brad Kuhn. Brad in the hole, 1-2. And that's why I appreciate that the award is named the Most Valuable Player Award. Marty Marion was the most valuable player of the 1944 season with the Cardinals because he helped them win the title and win 105 games. His average was only .267 with 6 home runs and 63 runs driven in. The Cubs' Bill Nicholson led the league in home runs, RBIs, runs scored, but he finished second by 1 point in the MVP voting. Just another example of the Cub-Cardinal rivalry. Breaking pitch, see you later, strike 3 called, and my hat goes off to Jaime García. Am I glad the Colonels scored 2 runs in the first inning, because that's the 4th strikeout for the 19-year-old lefty, and his breaking pitch is good enough right now in this league to be a big league pitcher. Luis Cotto, or check that, Marco Albano is the batter for the Kernels. Marco walked and scored in the Kernel 2-run first. Ball 1 low. Let me give you the numbers in our baseball fun fact again for Bill Nicholson, the Cubs slugger in 1944. He was edged out by 1 point in the MVP balloting behind Marty Marion, the Cardinal Hall of Fame shortstop. Bill Nicholson hit 33 home runs to Marty Marion's 6. 122 RBIs to Marty Marion's 63, and he led the league with 116 runs scored. He also hit 287 to Marion's 267. A Baltimore chop over the head of the third baseman, and A.J. Van Slyke, the left fielder, retrieves it and holds Marco Albano to a single. Marco Albano with a Baltimore chop that vaulted over the head of the third baseman by inches. Daniel Nelson climbed the ladder, couldn't climb the ladder high enough as that ball basted off the dirt in front of home plate. Took a high hop over the head of Daniel Nelson, and Marco Albano reaches for the second time. The Cubs, with Bill Nicholson's great year in 1944, finished in fourth place, 75 and 79. That's our baseball fun fact, that statistics aren't the entire story, I don't believe, for who the most valuable player is or should be. Jordan Renz waits as Marco Albano draws a throw and gets back safely. And there have been many, many controversies over most valuable player voting and awards over the years. Finally, Renz sees a pitch and he swings and misses. Hey, there's a kid down below with Mr. Shucks that's wearing a Toyota Financial Services Cedar Rapids Gazette 1,000-minute reader shirt from last year. She's getting Mr. Shucks' autograph. That kid is probably from Hoover or Truman. A throw to first, and Marco Albano back safely. Mr. Shucks has a bunch of kids around him. Why not? He's the most popular figure here at the ballpark. Great ambassador. Wonderful energy by Mr. Shucks. The 0-1 to Renz headed home. High, ball one. One difference between Nick Adenhart, the Kernels' 6-game winner, and Jaime García, the star lefty for the swing. Garcia works much more slowly. Jaime is not wearing a shirt underneath his burnt orange swing top. That is, he's not wearing a long sleeve shirt. A throw to first. Marco Albano has 2 steals. He's been caught 3 times. Good crowd here this evening. And a hot air balloon miles away above the Cedar River Towers. Here goes Albano, a curve high. Marco with the head first slide steals the base. Marco Albano's in scoring position, his 3rd stolen base of the season, as he picked the perfect pitch to go on, a choked curveball by Garcia that Renz took upstairs for ball 2. Check that, ball 1 to Jordan Renz. And now the plate umpire getting some unwanted guff from the swing third base dugout. That pitch was way high. I don't know if they thought it was a strike or what their beef is. The 1-2 to Jordan. Swing and a miss, strike 3. There's that big league breaking pitch down and in to the Colonel right-handed batter. And Garcia strikes out the side. No runs for the Kernels in the second. 1 hit, a stolen base. There were no swing errors. The Kernels strand a runner and have left 4 in the early going. We go to the top of the 3rd inning on this delightfully cool and sunny Friday evening. Kernels lead the swing 2-0. You're enjoying Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Diet Pepsi is taking you to the movies. All kinds of movies, like horror films.
Hey, there's a guy with a hockey mask outside. Let's go see what he wants. Okay.
Sci-fi film.
Gentlemen, we're in luck. Those aliens speak American.
Kung Fu movies.
Your English voiceover looks terrible. Take my nunchucks.
Teen flicks.
I am so ugly. Well, you'd be hot if you ditched your glasses and your nerdy side ponytail. Oh, my gosh, I am hot.
Foreign films.
Le French fries, the French toast. Baguette, le poulet, le croissant.
Crime films. Said you find anything?
Only this computer disc labeled totally incriminating evidence.
Well, keep looking.
Introducing the Diet Pepsi box office promotion. Find a code in specially marked Diet Pepsi packages. Collect and enter codes at dietpepsiboxoffice.com to redeem for a movie ticket, even to action movies.
Well, the bad guy said, I'll just turn my back. I can't believe you fell for that.
Light, crisp, refreshing Diet Pepsi.
Subject to official rules, void where prohibited. 63006. Multiple purchases required. See website for redemption details.
The
Imagine the convenience of accomplishing your next real estate transaction under one roof. Buying a home, selling a home, or securing the right mortgage loan are simple and worry-free at Todd Financial Services. Todd Financial Services knows that you've worked hard to be able to make the dream of home ownership a reality. Todd Financial Services understands that people do business with people they trust. You can count on Todd Financial Services to put you and your needs first so that your real estate transactions are pleasurable.
John Rogers back with you here at Veterans Memorial Stadium. We've just had our Culver Small Fry take the field. A thrill of a lifetime for a youngster who got to go out thanks to Culver's. Here's a broken bat grounder past third, strike one, to Luis Cotto. The Culver Small Fry gets to go out on the diamond, accompanied by Mr. Shucks, and receive a rainbow-colored baseball from Culver's, as well as a certificate for a free meal at Culver's. And our Culver Small Fry had a great time getting the autograph of Colonel third baseman Dallas Morris. Dallas has an unusual custom when the Culver Small Fry chooses him. He puts his glove on top of his head as a storage place, and then he signs the autograph. Luis Cotto on an 0-1 delivery from Nick Adenhart takes it downstairs. 2-0 Colonels. We're in the top of the third. We're eager to welcome Principals Brian Krob from... Now Cotto slaps the 1-1 pitch off his foot, and it caroms all the way down into foul territory, where Dallas Morris at third picks it up. Eric Christensen from Truman Elementary will be with us in the fourth inning. Then Brian Krob from Hoover Elementary will join us in the fifth inning. Tony Regan's Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim minor league player development director stopped in, and I asked him, well, the Freeway Series starts tonight, doesn't it, Tony, between the Dodgers and Angels? Breaking pitch low and away, and it's 2-2 to Cotto. And Tony said, it sure does, John. It's at Chavez Ravine, Dodger Stadium. And he and I agreed. We thought there'd be half red jackets and half blue jackets for the Angels and Dodgers. Cotto whistles the 2-2 pitch foul into the screen. Luis Cotto, 24-year-old right-handed hitting shortstop with a very open stance. 0 for 3 last night. Walked with 2 outs in the fourth to begin the swing 5-run outburst against Tommy Mendoza. A change-up, and it's low. It's a full count to Cotto. The lights here at the ballpark have just been turned on. A light breeze continues to blow in from right center field. I said we could see a couple of hot air balloons, or one rather. That one is drifted over above Quaker Oats and the Cedar River now. Cotto bounces it foul into the first row of the premier seats behind the swing third base dugout. Nick Adenhart gave up a 2-out double in the first, but got Randy Roth on a weak grounder to third. The Colonel right-hander set the side down in order. In the second inning, Cotto's a .294 hitter, and he slaps it to second, and it's caught by Marco Albano. Marco bent his knees, thrust his arms behind him as though he thought he might have to leap up to catch that little humpback liner, but then Marco just stuck his mitt up right in front of the bill of his cap, and Albano gloved it for the first out here in the third inning. Boy, Nick Adenhart is a once-in-a-10-year broadcasting career type of pitcher. Here's a ground ball to the left of the mound, gobbled up by Infante, and Larry throws out Casey Roulette. Roulette rolls out to short. And I mean that. You see a picture of Nick Adenhart's ability and God-given talent about once every 10 years. We've seen some great ones for former Colonels. Ramon Ortiz, the all-time Midwest League strikeout leader in 97. John Lackey, of course, won Game 7 of the 2002 World Series as a rookie. Here's a bouncer to second. Albano has it. Flips to first for the out. Daniel Nelson chops out to second, and nothing to it as Nick Adenhart is now retired 7 in a row. After 2.5 innings at Veterans Memorial Stadium, the Colonels 2 and Quad City 0. You're enjoying Colonel Baseball on the Colonel Radio Network.
Don't you wonder sometimes how all those companies who claim to be the best can actually be the best? Doesn't just one of them have to be the best? When it comes to motor coach travel, Tri-State Travel is the best. We have the highest safety rating, the largest variety of coaches, a trained driving staff, and 66 years of experience. Don't you want to travel with the best? That would be Tri-State Travel, now at our new location on 7th Street Southwest.
Hi, this is John Rogers, the voice of the Kernels. I'd like to share a few words with you about Kernel team physician, orthopedic surgeon Dr. David Terse. My father was a surgeon, and like most sons, I looked up to him as the greatest dad and the best doctor on earth. When I was diagnosed with a torn meniscus in my right knee recently, I wondered if my doctor here in Cedar Rapids would measure up to my dad's standards. My doctor was Dr. David Terse. Dr. Terse's thorough and expert explanation of my x-ray, his calm and reassuring description of the procedure he would be performing, and his kind and confident bedside manner impressed me beyond my expectations. Dr. Terse has those exceptional qualities we all hope to find in our doctor: an established reputation of excellence, the ability to communicate with us so that we understand and trust his words, and that gut feeling that he truly cares about us. Dr. Terse is a world-class surgeon and a first-class person. I've experienced firsthand why the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, the Kernels' parent ball club, has entrusted Dr. Terse to care for our players.
This big crowd in a festive mood as we kick off a weekend. Game 4 in an 8-game homestand will welcome the Kane County Cougars to our ballpark tomorrow. Fireworks after the 5 o'clock game. We start at 5 o'clock tomorrow, and following the game, we'll have our first fireworks show of the year. The Cluckers Chicken Dance is what had the crowd here all excited and in a good frame of mind. Dallas Morris, the Colonel cleanup batter, is first up to face lefty Jaime García in the bottom of the third inning. 2-0 in favor of Quad City. In favor of the Kernels. What am I saying? 2-0 Kernels. That's a slip-up you can't afford to make too often, is giving the wrong score, especially when you're reversing it in favor of the visitors. 2-0 Kernels here in the third as Dallas fouls one straight back. Dallas singled in a run in the Colonel 2-run first. He's batting .232, and he takes high and away, ball 1. Halo happenings, results from around the Angel organization last night. Former Colonel catcher Mike Napoli slugged his second home run as a big leaguer, but the Angels fell in 10 innings to the Blue Jays in Anaheim 8-4. Here's a hard-hit ball on the ground to second. Jose Martinez didn't have to move a step as he reaches down to get it and throws out Dallas Morris. 1 away here in the Colonel third inning. AAA Salt Lake won. They thrashed Oklahoma 5-1, and former Colonel Mike Elward was 3 for 4 for the Salt Lake Bees. And former Colonel right-hander Greg Jones earned his 4th save of the season as Salt Lake turned back Oklahoma 5-1. Flint Whipke at the plate. Shoots one deep down the right field line, tailing foul beyond the Papa John's Plaza bleacher section. Flint singled in a run with a ground ball base hit to left, his first time up. Arkansas slipped to 13-24 on the year in the Texas League. The AA Angel farmhands were clocked last night 10-2 by the Springfield Cardinals. Former Colonel Jesse Smith was lit up in 5 1/3 innings. He surrendered 7 runs on 12 hits. Flint Whipke belts one to deep center. Colby Rasmus is there and has it. Colby turned his back on home plate. Flint hit it into the teeth of the wind, and Colby Rasmus, after turning his back to the plate, then turned and caught the baseball. Flint Whipke stroked it well, but flies to center for the second out here in the third inning. Stantrell Smith struck out looking, his first time up. Stantrell's average is .292 in 9 games. Stantrell, no homers, 4 RBIs, 1 double and 2 triples. Ball 1 in tight to the Colonel right-handed batter. Rancho Cucamonga, composed of former Colonels from a year ago. They were dumped by Inland Empire 5-3. Stantrell tops a pitch and rolls it foul. toward the third base swing dugout, strike one. Rancho Cucamonga's record is 21-19. Sean Rodriguez had a 2-for-4 night with a double and home run, but the Quakes lost 5-3. A bouncer over the hill. Stantrell may beat it out. The second baseman Martinez gloves, throws, not in time. It's an infield single for Stantrell Smith, and Stantrell has his 5th hit of the series. Stantrell Smith topped it, and it went over the mound. Between the hill and second, it was charged by second baseman Jose Martinez. Jose threw to first, but not in time as Stantrell beat the throw. And now the batter is Travis Schlichting, who walked in the first inning. Stantrell has a good lead. He draws the throw, and he's back standing up. Eric Christensen, we've been promoting the fact that you would be here this evening, and Eric saddled up there. What a great, great privilege and honor, Eric, for the 5th year in a row. You and Tammy and Jeannie and the PTO have done a marvelous job. Look out to those plaza seats and right, Eric, and be proud of Truman and Hoover.
Yeah, well, thank you, John. It's been a fabulous night. The weather has cooperated, and kids are, again, having a lot of fun here tonight at the ballpark.
Oh, yes, they are, Eric. They're having a great time, and you have been such a loyal supporter and believer in this facility and what professional baseball means to this community in terms of wholesome, affordable entertainment for the family, and we're just so happy that we can count you as a great friend of the Kernels. Eric Christensen, your final count was very impressive for a Friday night with the state track meet going on, with tournaments, with Boy Scout, Girl Scout activities. This is a busy time of year.
It really is, John. We not only with the high school events going on, we have so many kids involved in extracurricular things that it was a hard decision. Do we have it on a Friday night, a Tuesday night? And really, there's no real good night to have it with all the kids and what they do each evening. So, very, very proud of the fact that we have almost 200 kids here tonight. And obviously, they're enjoying the night. And as you can see down on the first base line.
They sure are, Eric. We have a halt in play as Travis Schlichting on a 1-0 pitch thudded a pitch off his left foot, and Eric Munson taking a look at Travis. So is Bobby Magianis. Eric Christensen, you've played baseball at a very high level with the Eastern Iowa Town City League, and also you helped coach former Midwest League MVP Michael Restovich, who's now in the Cub organization. And did you ever foul one off your foot like that?
A few times. You have to have real quick hands, obviously, and it does sting a little bit, especially when it's cold out. So it's smart, but you get right back in the box and keeps hacking away.
That's what Travis will do with that wide-open stance from the right side. The 1-1 from the swing lefty, Garcia, instead of throw to first, and Stantrell Smith is back safely. Eric Truman accomplished a lot this year. One of the biggest and, I think, crowning achievements was your fundraising for your playground equipment, and I want you to give us the good news on that after this pitch. The 1-1, a throw to first.
Well, yeah, we started last fall, and the goal was to create a new playground for the kids, and we're happy to report that over $67,000 has been raised during the course of the year. Between our parents and a lot of local companies that came out, we hope to start that installation on Friday, a week from today.
Breaking ground.
And kids are excited. They took a lot of ownership in it, had a lot of different activities such as a fun walk and other things. So the kids are ready to play.
Oh, Eric, that's great news. And I know it was a lot of planning and hard work and all worth it. I'll share a story with you here in a moment as Schlichting falls behind 1-2, a ground ball foul, a throw to first, and Stantrell Smith is back. Stantrell's at first with 2 away. Here in the bottom of the third inning, the Kernels up 2-0. A couple of premier pitchers that are future big league prospects are tangling here tonight. Is Stantrell running? No, and a curveball is outside. Deuce is wild now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Third inning, 2-0 Kernels. I had 2 girls, little first and second graders here from 2 different schools last night, Eric. Hannah from Bowman Woods and Belle from Madison. and I asked them what was their favorite school activity. Here's the 2-2. Strike 3 call, the backdoor curveball, and boy, I'll tell you, if you are a pure baseball fan, you are listening to or watching two tremendous pitchers here tonight. No runs for the Kernels in the third. One hit, a 2-out infield single. There were no swing errors. The Kernels leave one and have left 5. Both little girls, one from Bowman Woods, one from Madison, Eric Christensen, said their favorite activity at school was playing on the playground.
Yeah, and I think, what we say is not only do they get their exercise, but they do learn a lot.
Oh, yes.
When they're out in that unstructured environment as far as getting along with kids and not only following the rules, but the whole social interaction piece is a critical piece to obviously learning. And we enjoy the kids watching them interact out on the playground and learning from each other. So it's a vital piece in the elementary years.
We'll hear more about that in just a second, Eric. After 3 innings, Kernels lead the swing 2-0. You're listening to Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Cedar Rapids' oldest wholesale greenhouse is also Cedar Rapids' full-service landscaping and lawn care center. Cedar Rapids Greenhouses has been serving eastern Iowans for 50 years at the corner of Johnson Avenue and Edgewood Road, behind Guppy's on the Go. Cedar Rapids Greenhouses has a full line of trees and shrubs like magnolias, maples, and lilacs. And for a limited time, buy any potted tree and Cedar Rapids Greenhouses will deliver and plant it free. If you're searching for the right beautification project, let the trained landscape designers at Cedar Rapids Greenhouses help you create a unique plan for your home. From retaining walls to ponds, waterfalls, and fountains, they'll work within your budget and taste, and they do free estimates. Lawn care featuring mowing, fertilization, seeding, sodding, aeration, dethatching, maintenance, and cleanup are all done with care and precision. For the highest quality and low prices, see the difference at Cedar Rapids Greenhouses, Eastern Iowa's full-service landscapers at the corner of Johnson Avenue and Edgewood Road.
Hi, I'm Phil Andrews, your local Pekin Insurance agent at Andrews Insurance in Cedar Rapids. I'd like to introduce you to an easy-to-understand, affordable life insurance plan with great benefits. It's simplified issue whole life from Pekin Insurance. The plan requires no medical exam, has guaranteed rates for life, and a guaranteed cash value. Life insurance made simple and affordable from Pekin Insurance. To learn more, contact me, Phil Andrews, at Andrews Insurance.
The solid waste and recycling mascot Kirby ushers off the participants from Truman and Hoover Elementary Schools in our recycling shuttle relay. Nick Adenhart has set down 7 in a row. His big yellow hammer is a strike call to Jose Martinez. Eric Christensen and Brian Krob, the principals from Truman and Hoover Elementary Schools, respectively. It's their school's Pride Nights here this evening. Look out, there was a pitch in Martinez's wheelhouse, and he fouls it straight back. It ricochets all the way out to the right side of the diamond, where Nick Adenhart disposes of it. Eric Christensen was telling us about the phenomenally successful fundraising effort, $67,000 raised for a new playground equipment at Truman, and here's a breaking pitch in the dirt. Eric, playground equipment has changed since I was in school. We used to have metal apparatus known as monkey bars that were set on a concrete or pea gravel surface, and parents and educators didn't know that that was dangerous, but like anything, playground equipment has gotten a lot more user-friendly.
It really has, and a lot of it promotes upper body strength and a lot of different coordination types of skills, and I know our PE teacher, Craig Murray, is very excited about using that piece.
In PE?
In PE.
Oh, that's fabulous.
Yeah, so it really has evolved like everything else, it seems like. So
Jose Martinez on a 2-2 pitch fouls it over the grandstand roof behind the plate. The plate umpire takes a new batch of baseballs. Martinez bounced back to the hill on a comebacker in the first inning. Nick's 2-2. A long one to left. This is going to be, I think, his third home run of the series. It is a home run. I'll be darned. Jose Martinez, with his third home run in as many games, launches it onto the Randy Keel Confidence Picnic Pavilion. It's only the second home run Nick Adenhart has surrendered in 9 starts. Where in the world is Jose Martinez getting this power? That's his third home run in as many games here at this ballpark. He's got to be feeling like the second coming of Albert Pujols. Wow. He put that one on the Randy Keel Confidence Picnic Pavilion. And the Colonel lead is 1 run now, 2-1. Here's trouble. Colby Rasmus has 9 hits in the series. 19-year-old Cardinal first-round pick takes up and away, ball 1. Eric, what will be the... Can as many as 20 kids play on the equipment at a time at Truman?
Well, we talked about that as we were looking at what type of structure we wanted. And, it's just amazing on what they have out there today. And so we're looking at, roughly, depending on what the size of the child and the different things that we have, probably between 40, 50 kids that can be on it at one time.
Wow. The 2-0 to Rasmus is a strike on the outside corner. That's great because that means a full PE class, perhaps 2 classes, and a good portion. Do you stagger your recesses at Truman?
Yeah, we do. It's traditionally like most schools. We have the younger kids out there at a certain time, and then our intermediate kids at another time. So
a high, lazy fly ball to left, and Santrell Smith saunters in and puts it away. 2 out here in the swing 3rd inning. Kernels on top, 2-1. And then, Eric, as far as the surface, if a kid were to lose her or his balance and take a tumble, what would they be landing on?
Well, there's a lot of different surfacing out there now, too, just like the equipment itself. So we chose to do the traditional wood chips.
That's safe.
Yeah, and obviously it needs to meet code with 4 inches thick and all these other logistical things. But we decided to go that route and then do some things as far as drainage as well.
Yes.
So.
A swing and a miss by Randy Roth, the cleanup batter, who bounced out to third to end the first, and now Randy serves one foul up onto the Miller Mezzanine terrace above the Colonel first base dugout. Nick Adenhart's ahead of the league's leading home run hitter, Randy Roth, 11 homers, 32 RBIs, batting .299. Roth tomahawks a pitch foul. Look out up on the up on the Randy Keel Confidence Picnic Pavilion as Randy Roth literally tomahawk that pitch foul. 0-2 to Randy. Impressive to see him as a cleanup batter and home run hitter widen his stance with a 2-strike count. And he breaks his bat and punches it in the air to short, and Larry Infante has it for the final out of the inning, I think. No, that's just the second out. Oh, I have my columns mixed up here. I know what I did. I put the home run in the 3rd inning, the home run here in the 4th inning. So Larry Infante catches that broken bat squirter in the air for the second out of the inning. Here's Brandon Yarborough. Yarborough struck out leading off the second. Well, Eric Christensen, that is great news from Truman. And here's a chopper over the hill, charged by Albano. Marco can't come up with it cleanly, and it'll be interesting to see. I think that should be a base hit, Eric. Do you think hit or error? I agree. I think they've got it. Yes, it is a base hit for Brandon Yarborough. Yarborough bounced it over the head of Nick Adenhart. Marco Albano charged it, got a glove on it, and then his knee kicked it out of his mitt. Even if Marco had fielded it cleanly with a left-handed batter sprinting down the line, I don't think he'd have had a play. 1 on, 2 out for A.J. Van Slyke in this 2-1 game. Kernels on top. A.J. swings and misses, strike 1. Eric, to raise $67,000 in less than a year?
Less than a year. We started in September, correct.
You had to have a plan, and you had to have these. Here's a wild pitch. Flint Whipke has to hustle back to the base of the backstop, and the tying run goes to second base. That's the 7th wild pitch on the year, charged to Nick Adenhart, and all of a sudden the Swing had the tying run in scoring position on an infield single and wild pitch here in the 4th inning. You had to have all of your people on your side, and then when you made phone calls or wrote letters or met with people, you have to have a passion and a reason for playground equipment, and you're telling me that a lot of people contributed.
They really did. Our PTO, we have a fabulous group of people that decided to really get going on this project. And like you said, John, hundreds of letters were sent out to area businesses. Phone calls were made to parents. It was very well organized. And it just seemed like, the entire Cedar Rapids community, be it business or individual families, when it's something that important for kids, they really come out of the woodwork to not only support the kids, but the school district as well. So it's been phenomenal, the support and financial.
Here's a late swing and a miss on a 2-2 pitch. A.J. Van Slyke strikes out, and Nick Adenhart prevents the swing from tying the game here in the fourth inning. For Quad City, though, 1 run on Jose Martinez's third home run in as many games. 2 hits for the Quad City Ball Club. No Colonel errors. A wild pitch. The swing leave a runner on. They've stranded 2. We'll be finishing up with Eric Christensen, the principal at Truman Elementary, in the next half inning. Have some more to talk about with Eric and Truman, and then we'll be welcoming Hoover's principal, Brian Probe. These 2 fellas are 2 of the most outstanding young educators and leaders in our community. I can tell you that. After 3.5 innings, Kernels now lead the swing 2-1. You're listening to Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Reading stimulates a child's imagination, increases their mastery of subject matter, improves their spelling and vocabulary, and opens up new worlds of discovery. That's why Toyota Financial Services, the Gazette, and the Kernels are teaming up to encourage elementary students throughout the community to read. Kernels players will visit 38 elementary schools this spring to talk with students about the benefits of reading. Girls and boys will then be rewarded with nifty prizes for achieving reading milestones. Toyota Financial Services, the Gazette, and the Kernels, proud to stand behind our community's youth through reading.
Next up, a musical taste of Dr. Pepper. It's a new spin on an old vibe. From me to you, a tasty sip of Dr. Pepper for your ears. And it starts like this.
I'm a pepper, he's a pepper, she's a pepper, we're a pepper, wouldn't you like to be a pepper?
Now that's cool, but Pepper is a little better. So let's slide in a taste of this.
I'm a pepper,
Right on. But there's still more to it. I mean, there's nothing like it, because every sip is a kick and mashup of 23 different flavors. So for the true taste of Dr. Pepper, we dial it up even more. You know it. With 23 flavors mixed into one bold taste, every sip is a cool mix of music to your mouth. Dr. Pepper, there's more to it.
A 2-1 game in favor of the Kernels as Brett Martinez grounds a base hit into left field. Brett Martinez jumped on the first pitch, didn't hit it particularly hard, but rolled it through the left side of the swing infield, and the Kernels have the leadoff man aboard here in the fourth inning, leading 2-1. And as a baseball fan, Eric Christensen, it's going to be a tough role or a tough task for Larry Infante if they ask him to bunt. You said it earlier, this lefty Garcia has a wicked curveball.
Yeah, we'll see if he can get it down.
Well, just because it's so tough, I'm not sure, 100% sure. Yes, he bunts, and it's up the first baseline foul, strike 1. The percentages and book tell you that your number 9 hitter, a left-handed batter, should bunt, and that's why Daniel Nelson is way in on the grass at third for the swing. 2-1 Kernels, bottom of the fourth. Eric Christensen, how many years at Truman for you?
I'm finishing my 4th year, John, at Truman, and I will be headed over to Polk Elementary in July to take on a new assignment.
Well, that is both sad and great news. Sad because we'll miss you at Truman, but wonderful because we've been to both Truman and Polk in the last 2 days, and what a great situation you're going to inherit at Polk. Eric, those kids were so well behaved this morning. Here's a bunt attempt by Infante, and I thought he offered at it.
Yeah, it looked like he did.
The base umpire said no, the Kernels get a break, ball 1 to Larry. You know what Dr. Freeberg told me that makes sense? That's who you'll be following at Polk. He said, John, we have some socioeconomic challenges, but we have high standards here, and that matches your philosophy at Truman.
Well, yeah, I think so. You know, in the times I've been over to Polk half a dozen times already to get my feet wet, so to speak, and Bill's done an absolutely phenomenal job over there. And, yeah, they do have...
Larry bunts, and the pitcher throws it away. Rounding third is Martinez. They're going to try to score him. Here's the throw home. Brett is out at the plate. Out at the plate. On to third goes Larry Infante. So not too bad of a gamble in the sense, Eric, that even though Martinez was thrown out...
Here on the second baseman, allowed the runners to advance out of the plate 9-2.
Even though Martinez was out trying to score all the way from first on a error by the second baseman, a bunt by Larry Infante and the pitcher threw to the second baseman covering, and the second baseman missed the toss. E4, the ball rolled into the Colonel right field bullpen, where Casey Roulette, the right fielder, retrieved it, threw a one-hop strike home to get Martinez, who tried to score all the way from first. But the good part is Infante winds up at third base. And a foul straight back by Brad Kuhn. So the Colonels go from having a runner at first, trying to sacrifice him to second with one out, to having a runner at third with one out. So I'll take that, Eric.
Yeah, that's a fair exchange if you're a Colonel fan, that's for sure.
Sure, we hated to see Martinez thrown out at the plate, but it was a perfect throw by Roulette. Infield in for the swing at the play at the plate. Jaime Garcia comes set at the face level. A pitch out. The swing thought the Colonels might try to squeeze, Eric.
They did. I think they thought something was going on as they were looking at the third base coach, but it all worked out, so 1-1.
Martinez was thrown out trying to score from first on a bunt, sacrifice bunt by Infante. The throw dropped by the second. Here's a squeeze, and it works to perfection. The pitcher throws to first for the out, and wow, Eric, does that take gall and courage by Bobby Magallanes? One pitch before a pitch out, then Bobby put the squeeze on, and Kuhn got it down.
Perfectly executed.
Kuhn's bunt was halfway between the mound and the hill. In fact, it was on the dirt path carved between the two, and Jaime Garcia rushed in, fielded it, and as he did, Larry Infante streaked across the plate, and it's Brad Kuhn thrown out. It went pitcher to first base, 1-3, and I think Al Gruwell, our official scorer, may have credited Kuhn with the sacrifice. And great for Brad Kuhn. 3-1 Colonels here in the fourth inning. Wow, that was a gutty call, and you have to have a manager willing to take a risk and a player able to get a bunt down. And the Colonels put all the elements together and squeezed the run home to make it 3-1 here in the fourth inning. Meanwhile, it's 1-1 to Marco Albano. Marco on that sharp breaking pitch. I don't think a big leaguer would have a prayer on that. Swing and a miss.
Great pitch.
This Jaime Garcia and our Nick Adenhart are jewels in the Cardinal and Angel organizations. Let's see if Marco can come out of this 1-2 hole and reach for the third time in a row. A pitch high for ball two. Well, Eric Christensen, thank you for the kind remarks about your predecessor, Bill Freeberg, and we wish you the very best in this transition. I know it's one you're excited about, and we're glad that you've accepted it.
Well, thank you, John. And again, we say this often, but we want to thank you for what you do for all the kids with the reading program and having, inviting us out for the night at the ballpark.
Oh, it's our pleasure, Eric.
Yep.
It really is.
And we hope to continue that as I move over to Polk.
Well, we do too. Polk hasn't quite built the tradition yet that you have at Truman, and we'll work on that, all right?
We will.
A swing and a miss by Marco and a pitch in the dirt, and the catcher throws to first for the out. The Colonels score one big run on one hit, one swing error, and the Colonels leave the bases empty in the fourth inning. We go to the top of the fifth. It's now the Colonels 3, the Swing 1. Coming up, a visit with Hoover Elementary School Principal Brian Krob. We thank Eric Christensen. As we go to the top of the fifth inning, 3-1 Colonels. You're listening to Colonel Baseball on the Colonel Radio Network.
Telephone company, our members are owners, we make us a team. Service second to none, South Slope Cooperative Communications.
Get ready for summer and beat high gas prices with a pre-owned vehicle from Randy Keel Honda. Their inventory is jam-packed with fuel-efficient vehicles designed to save you money. Get an economical sedan for your daily commute, or indulge your sporty side with a high-performance coupe. Randy Keel Honda carries a large selection of Honda certified pre-owned vehicles, backed by a 12-month, 12,000-mile comprehensive warranty and 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Need to haul the entire family? For a limited time, you can get special financing on Honda Certified Pre-Owned Odyssey. Whatever your driving needs, Randy Keel Honda has the vehicle for you. Visit Randy Keel Honda on Centerpoint Road Northeast or online at randykeel.com. Randy Keel Honda, where they treat you right.
This game moves quickly as we expected it would, with two of the premier hurlers in the Midwest League battling each other. We're in the top of the fifth. Nick Adenhart and the Kernels on top of the swing, 3-1. Bryan Anderson is in the hole, no balls, 2 strikes. Lower third of the Quad City order here in the fifth. Anderson hits it off the end of the bat and pops it up to the left side of the Kernel infield. And in shallow left, Larry Infante, the shortstop, calls off Dallas Morris, and Bryan Anderson, who grounded out in the second, has popped out to open up the swing fifth inning. Brian Krob is now with us from Hoover Elementary School. And Brian, I still remember when Henry Small was at Hoover. How many years in your principalship now at Hoover?
Well, I'm just finishing up my 4th year, and actually just saw Henry today. He stopped in.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah, he stops in once in a while.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, he loves the kids and likes to get back in once in a while and just say hi to everybody.
Well, that's wonderful to hear that he does that. Brian, I know that we have a lot of folks here on the southwest side that are proud to be parents of Hoover kids, and Hoover is a wonderful school that is growing, isn't it?
It is. We've got we put a new addition on a couple years ago.
That's what I thought.
And boy, it's a beautiful addition. We
a ground ball wrapped to shallow short off the bat of Luis Cotto, and his counterpart, Larry Infante, the Colonel shortstop, fires to first. 2 gone here in the swing fifth inning. That gave you more classroom, Brian?
It sure did. We, of course, about every building in Cedar Rapids uses about every space they possibly can. It goes for closets and stages and everything else they have there. So it was a great addition to our school. Actually, we're getting a couple new programs next year, a couple early childhood special education programs there. So we're looking forward to that.
Well, that's great news. Here's a high pop foul off to the right. Governor Vilsack has been a big advocate of early childhood education. Was it a matter of funding, or how did you get the go-ahead for it?
Well, we got a couple different things going on right now. We have a preschool program we just started there at Hoover. That's funded by Lynn County Empowerment Board. And then we also have...
Here's a high pop-up to the first base side. Underneath it in foul ground, now drifting into fair ground, is Travis Schlichting. Casey Roulette has fouled out to Travis Schlichting, or popped out. It was a fair ball halfway up the first baseline. Casey Roulette, who had 3 hits last night, has popped out to Schlichting. The lower third of the swing order go in order here in the top of the fifth inning. And we're going to keep it right here with Brian Crow, because Brian was just starting to tell us about taking a preschool program, Brian, and if I understand right, you've got that off the ground, and then what will happen from the preschool program?
Right now, John, we have a brand new preschool program coming. We're targeting 4-year-olds that come into our school, and then we're actually taking 2 programs from Viola Gibson. Of course, you know, Viola Gibson's growing like crazy out there, and so we're going to take 2 of their programs from there, 2 early childhood special education programs, bring them over next year, and now they're going to become a part of the Hoover family.
Brian, educators have to be trained. I wouldn't know how to begin to teach a 4-year-old. I would know how to play a game with them or entertain them, perhaps, but not educate them. How do you find people that can teach 4-year-olds?
Well, you know, it's a special person. It really takes a special person to get in there and to really educate and know what their abilities are. And there are certain levels that kids can achieve at certain grades, and that preschool program is vital, though. It is very vital. Getting those kids introduced nice and early, just the social part of it is so big.
Oh, sure. And in addition, are they ready to learn part of the alphabet?
They sure are. I mean, we'll introduce that. It's not a high priority, but it's sure a priority to get them kids in there, get them used to a routine, get them into some kind of organized day. It's only a half-day program right now, so that's just a start.
Well, when I was in kindergarten back in the 1963, we had half-day of kindergarten, and that was plenty long for a little kid. Brian Krob is with us from Hoover Elementary. The Kernels are about to bat in the home half of the fifth, holding a 3-1 lead over the swing of the Quad City. The Kernels have out-hit Quad City 6-3, scored 2 in the first. Jose Martinez answered with a home run, his 3rd in 3 games, to lead off the 4th inning, but the Kernels bounced right back took advantage of a base hit, sacrifice, and error, and a squeeze bunt to get that run back, and we go to the bottom of the fifth. 3-1 Kernels. Jordan Renz is the first hitter for the Kernels, and ball one upstairs from Jaime García to the Kernel number 3 hitter, batting .303 with 9 home runs, tied for second. League leader in RBIs with 36, Jordan Renz. He's 0 for 2 so far tonight, and he takes a strike on the inside corner. Brian, as far as the program with special education, that is another thing that has changed for the better. When I was in school, after I got out of grade school, they were just starting a term, and I'm sure it's antiquated now, but here's a ground ball wrapped to second, and a clean fielding play by Jose Martinez, who throws in time to get Jordan Renz. 1 gone here in the Kernel 5th inning. They called it mainstreaming, and it meant taking children with some challenges and not secluding them or separating them from the classroom. Is special education anywhere related to mainstreaming?
That's a good point. Mainstreaming, we always talk about buzzwords in education. That was a buzzword back then. Right now it's called integration, where we try to involve the kids as much as we possibly can throughout a regular routine day. Of course, they have their own special needs we need to attend to, but we try to get them right into that class next door they can go into, especially with our preschool program and our new special ed programs. We're going to take advantage of that and really introduce the kids to that general mainstream or integration that we call it.
Brian, special education means that the child needs extra help or extra attention?
A little both.
Okay.
Kids can be identified as young as 3 years old and become on an IEP, which is an individualized education plan. And so as a school district, as a public education, we need to serve those kids and help them along as much as we can.
Well, those are two fabulous new programs that we're glad you've acquired. Dallas Morris on a 1-1 count lays off a pitch high and away. Dallas helped the Kernels score one of their 2 runs in the 2-run first with an RBI single into center. His next trip up, leading off the third, he grounded out to second. We're already in the bottom of the 5th inning. A pretty stiff breeze is still blowing in from right center field as Garcia misses upstairs. The swing lefty is behind Dallas Morris. 3-1. The Kernels lead 3-1.
Now, John, you mentioned, I don't want to fool any listeners here, because you said that you would have no idea what to do if you got into teaching those small kids. But I do want to tell you something, though, John. Okay. When you come to our school every time and do that Toyota Financial Services summer reading program presentation, I tell you what, if you ever lost your job as an announcer, you can come on over and teach any time because you really did a good job. I mean, it takes a special person to really get in there and get those kids, and you entertain them so well, you keep their attention. It's amazing. You do a good job.
Thank you, Brian, and that means a lot to me because we do the most we can in that half hour. Mm-hmm. And you know what? I was just thinking today, coming up the elevator from our appearances at Polk and Kenwood with Hindley Station, the Colonel shortstop, how blessed we are as a community to have kids that will sit still, give you courteous, patient attention. And, yes, we think we have something exciting to offer. Reading, in our opinion and in our sponsor's view, is very important to the child's future chances of success. Here's a swing and a miss on a changeup. Strike 1 to Flint Whipke. Dallas Morris has grounded out to third. Daniel Nelson threw Dallas out for the second out here in the 5th inning. And, Brian, thanks. It's fun. I feel energized after those assemblies because the kids, they give me energy. Yeah. But thank you so much. Here's a foul ball into the opening of the swing third base dugout. It puts Flint Whipke in the hole. 0-2, Flint drove in his 12th run of the year with a RBI single back in the first. He lined out to center in the third. The 0-2 to the Colonel catcher. Outside corner, strike 3 called at the knees. Flint didn't like the call, but he'll have to live with it. Down in order go the Kernels in the 5th inning. Brian, it's your call now. We'd love to have you for one more half inning if you have time.
Sure, I'd love to stick around.
That's great. After 5 now, Kernels on top of the swing, 3-1. You're enjoying Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Whether you're a serious athlete or a weekend warrior, injuries can take you out of your game. Smart athletes know that Physiotherapy Associates in Cedar Rapids are the experts in the treatment and prevention of sport-related injuries. Our expert staff serves the metro and surrounding area high school athletes. Physiotherapy Associates of Cedar Rapids, the smart choice in sports medicine. Call us at 398-1569. That's 398-1569. We'll get you back in your game today.
Training and the highest quality craftsmanship in the world are two hallmarks of union workers. Prospective construction clients can depend on workers who have learned their craft and mastered their skills through the Cedar Rapids, Iowa City Building Trades and Construction Council world-class apprenticeship program. These experienced tradesmen will work with signed contractors to bring flexibility, efficiency, safety, and the highest skill and quality in the world to all building and construction projects. Eastern Iowa works best when we say union, yes.
Technology pervades every aspect of our daily lives. This remarkable age we live in has a machine or a computer to meet almost all of our needs. But you won't find a technological device that can provide you with the personal attention for something as important as insurance. Neighbor Insurance Services, your professional Pekin insurance agency in Hiawatha, is trained on all insurance matters, including how much coverage is enough coverage. For personal attention to all of your insurance needs, see the insurance professionals at Neighbor Insurance Services in Hiawatha.
We'll have our Springhouse trivia question for you in the bottom of this sixth inning as we roll to the top of the sixth. It's the top of the order for the Quad City Ball Club to swing. And Daniel Nelson, the leadoff batter, a switch hitter from Pierce College in Los Angeles, has struck out and grounded out to second. Nelson is a .246 hitter. Couple of homers, 11 RBIs for Daniel Nelson. Nick Adenhart misses just inside with a fastball, clocked at 89 miles an hour on the Bank Iowa Speed Pitch Indicator. Got my digits flip-flopped. Ball 2 is down and away. It's Truman and Hoover Elementary School Pride Night here at the ballpark, and Brian Krob, the outstanding young principal at Hoover's with us. Nelson loops a base hit into right center. Brad Kuhn over to cut it off. Daniel Nelson is bopped a base hit, one hop in front of the Kernels center fielder. And the Swing have their leadoff man aboard here in the sixth, trailing by a pair, 3-1 Kernels. Brian, I just learned between innings that you and your wife are the proud parents of 3 kids, and I wondered if you could tell us their ages and what schools they go to.
Sure. I have 3 kids. One is 9 years old, boy, and I've got a
double play ball to third. Dallas Morris has it, throws to second out. Albano to first. Got a ball!
Nice job.
Yes, it was Brian. Jose Martinez, who has homered in the last 3 games, chopped the first pitch to Dallas Morris. Dallas with a pinpoint accurate throw to the middle man, Marco Albano. Marco then pivoted and threw to first, and the Kernels turned it 5-4-3, 2 out here in the top of the sixth inning.
Albano did a nice job getting away from that runner.
Yes, he
jumped right up on top.
Yes, he did, Brian. Brian, your 9-year-old, where does he go to school?
All 3 of my kids, they go to Lisbon School.
Oh, you live in Lisbon?
Live on the outskirts there a little bit.
Uh-huh.
And we just got started a new 9 and under baseball league out there. So we're pretty excited about that. Lisbon Lasers, that's what we are.
That's neat. That's great. And then your other 2?
I've got a 5-year-old girl, and I've got another 6-year-old boy. So
yeah, that's wonderful.
Yep.
A 1-0 delivery is low. That keeps you probably pretty busy and probably pretty fulfilled.
It's a nice experience. We have 3 great kids, and keeping us busy and loving being involved with their activities and seeing them grow too.
Well, that's a great thing for you and your wife, Brian, and I congratulate you because it's hard to balance all the hours you put in as a principal and also be there for your children. Ball 4, Colby Rasmus draws a 4-pitch walk. Well, when a guy has 9 hits in a series, I'm not saying Nick Adenhart walked him on purpose, but he wanted Rasmus to hit his pitch. And Colby, with the first-round draft status of the Cardinals, you can see why he didn't bite on any of those borderline pitches. Rasmus at first with 2 away here in the top of the sixth inning. Randy Roth is the batter. And a throw to first. Rasmus dives back in safely. Brian, what are the kids' mindsets and do they know that school gets out in 2.5 weeks?
Oh yeah, they sure know. They're very excited. They obviously, our fifth graders are very excited to go into middle school. They've had a couple visits and we've had a lot of activities for them, kind of winding up their elementary school years, and they're very happy and proud to be part of Hoover and ready to move on. Most of them go to Taft.
Okay.
We do have some go to other neighboring middle schools, but they're very excited.
A swing and a miss on a low fastball by the slugger Randy Roth. Now a breaking pitch low and outside as Nick Adenhart rubs up the baseball. The swing, have a runner at first. Colby Rasmus, 2 away. 3-1 Kernels, top of the 6th inning. Adenhart comes set just below the chin, whips a throw to first, and diving back safely is Rasmus. Colby has 10 steals and 14 tries to go along with his .314 average. He has a big lead now with 2 out. He's running. A pitch low, a ball, the throw to second, and the runner is safe on a bang-bang play. It took the base umpire quite a long time, Brian, to make the call, and it was a close play, but he credits.
Yeah, that throw was a little bit left of the bag. I think if you had it in front of the bag, you might have got him, but that was a good steal.
It was, and Rasmus is in scoring position as the pitch was ruled low to Randy Roth. That's how badly the Swing want to win this one. They took a risk, and it paid off. Breaking pitch hammered to short. Larry Infante, screened by the runner, stabs it and throws the batter out.
Nice play.
Oh, Larry Infante was screened by the runner, Colby Rasmus, going from second to third. Larry was back on his heels in shallow left center, and he gloved that one hopper and then threw out Randy Roth to end the Swing 6th inning. No runs for Quad City. 1 hit. The Kernels turn a double play. A walk, a stolen base for Quad City. No Kernel errors. The Swing leave 1 aboard. Their 3rd left of the evening. Brian Krob, please enjoy the rest of the Hoover experience here tonight.
We definitely will. John, we want to thank you and Jack Rader for all your hard work. I know you guys support education so much, and as Cedar Rapids, we benefit from that. We definitely appreciate that.
Brian, thank you. Feelings mutual. We love being a place that can be a family destination and it can be wholesome and affordable. And we love the Cedar Rapids and surrounding area schools. It's been a wonderful relationship.
Yeah, well, I want to thank all the Hoover parents for coming out and Truman parents. Made it a great night for everybody.
Brian Krob, continued success.
Thanks, John.
Thank you to the Hoover Elementary School principal, Brian Krob. We'll have our Springhouse trivia question for you in the bottom of the 6th as we head there. Kernels lead the Swing 3-1. This is Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
In today's work world, knowledge is power. Training for modern job skills is opportunity and security. And you have one of the best choices for your future right here in eastern Iowa. It's Kirkwood. Kirkwood Community College offers over 100 degree programs to give you new job opportunities or a smart start on your college path. Find out more today. Call Kirkwood Admissions, 398-5517. Kirkwood, start here, go anywhere.
Hi, I'm Papa John, and when I say better ingredients, better pizza, I'm not talking about a little better. I'm talking about a lot better. Let's talk about our pizza sauce. It's made from fresh, fine-ripened tomatoes, not from concentrate. And when it comes to ingredients, we select from the world's best. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. A lot better.
Call your neighborhood Papa John's today and ask for the Home Run Special, a large, thin, or original crust pizza with up to 3 toppings for $10.99. Just $10.99.
Great teams consist of diverse talents. Rockwell Collins understands this and is committed to developing diversity in our community. We recognize that our leadership in the aviation and communications electronics industry hinges on attracting and retaining a diverse workforce. And we're working with other Iowa companies to create an environment that nurtures diversity. Rockwell Collins. Different thinking makes us great. Great thinking makes us different.
In the home half of the 6th, the Kernels lead 3-1 over the Swing, and Stantrell Smith is even on the count 1-1, facing southpaw Jaime García. Stantrell plugs one off the end of the bat foul into the first base red seats. If you've been a winner in our Springhouse Trivia question already this spring, we've had 18 different winners. Please play along wherever you're tuned in tonight, but don't call in. And a $5 gift certificate will go to the winner of our Springhouse Trivia question this evening. The 1-2 to Stantrell. A curve, and it's dribbled foul towards the swing third base dugout. The Springhouse has broasted chicken, and you can call ahead and order it. Yes, sir. The Springhouse has broasted chicken, and they have it to go. All you need to do is call ahead. And that broasted chicken with potato wedges and coleslaw is delicious. Ooh, a borderline pitch taken low and away, a changeup from Garcia to Stantrell. Smith is struck out looking and reached on an infield single. Stantrell, Smith, Travis Schlichting, Brett Martinez here in the Colonel. Sixth inning. Kernels lead it by a pair, 3-1. Stantrell wraps it up the middle. Backhanded play. Flip to the shortstop. Throw to first. Not in time. What an effort by Jose Martinez, Luis Cotto, as they combined. A backhand stop by Martinez. Took a hit to the outfield away from Stantrell. Martinez then underhanded it to Luis Cotto, the shortstop. He flung it to first. Not in time. Stantrell Smith has his second hit. An infield single wrapped up the middle. And let's see if the Kernels play hit and run, bunt and run, or straight steal. It looks like Garcia has a very good pickoff move. Here's a bunt attempt and taking low, no attempt, low, ball one to Schlichting. The Crosstown Series, the Windy City rivalry, unfolding this afternoon. Our internet server is down for the time being, so we can't tell you who won between the Cubs and White Sox at U.S. Cellular Field, but our Springhouse Trivia question is going to ask you, it relates to the Crosstown rivalry. Name one former Cub player who managed the White Sox. Name one former Cub player who managed the White Sox. We'll give you the number to call in a moment. A bunt by Schlichting rolls up the first base line, barehanded by the first baseman. He throws to the second baseman, covering the bag for the out. That was a terrific sacrifice bunt by Travis Schlichting. Schlichting rolled it up the first base line. Randy Roth waited, saw that it wasn't going to spin into foul ground. Roth barehanded it through to the second baseman, Jose Martinez, for a 3-4 putout. And now with Stantrell Smith at second, Brett Martinez bats. Here's the number to call for our Springhouse Trivia question. Your chance to earn a $5 gift certificate to the Springhouse. You may call now at 896-7589. We have the internet back up, and we'll get to the State Farm Major League scoreboard shortly. Here's a line drive into the right field corner. Fair, extra bases for Brett Martinez. He rounds first. He'll hold on there. Scoring from second is Stantrell Smith. Brett Martinez, his second hit in a row, lined it down the line in right. Casey Roulette cut it off as Stantrell Smith scores, and it's 4-1 Kernels here in the bottom of the sixth inning. Brett Martinez comes through as he lines a single down the right field line. When it first left the bat, I thought it was an extra base hit. It winds up being a single as Roulette cut it off. Stantrell Smith scores, and it's 4-1 Kernels here in the bottom of the sixth inning. We already, I think, have a winner in our Springhouse Trivia question. We ask you to name one former Cub player who managed the White Sox. And that is not an easy task. By my count, there are only 3 former Cub players who ever managed the Chicago White Sox. Larry Infante pops a pitch foul off to the left. I think we have a winner. Yes, we do. Mike Langheim. Mike Langheim of Marion has correctly answered the Springhouse Trivia question. We'll share the question and his answer with you in a moment. A curve is a strike to Larry Infante. Thank you. 0-2 to Larry Infante. Our internet server is back up, and we will have a final for you in a moment in the crosstown rivalry game this afternoon at U.S. Cellular Field. The 0-2 to Larry. Just missed a fastball outside. Our Springhouse trivia question, name one former Cub player who managed the White Sox. Mike Langheim, I salute you, my friend. Yes, Don Kessinger. Don Kessinger, one former Cub player who managed the White Sox. A throw to first, and Martinez back standing up. Kessinger was an all-star shortstop from 1964 to 1975 with the Cubs, and then he managed the White Sox as a player-manager in 1979. Mike Langheim, you've earned yourself a $5 gift certificate to the Springhouse. The other two former Cub players who managed the White Sox, Eddie Stanky. Eddie played for the Cubs in 1943 and 1944. He managed the White Sox in 66, 67, and 68. A curve, Larry Infante belts it fair into the right field corner. Let's see if Brett Martinez will try to score. Casey Roulette digs it out of the corner. Bobby Magallanes very wisely holds up Brett Martinez at third. Larry Infante has the third Colonel hit of the inning. Larry Infante got a pitch in his wheelhouse, and he tomahawked it down the right field line fair by about an inch, and he sends Brett Martinez speeding to third. Second and third, one out. Kernels lead 4-1, and we're going to have a pitching change. The Kernels have KO'd the Swing's best pitcher, and he's a good one. Jaime García goes 5 1/3. And in 5 1/3, Jaime García has surrendered 4 runs on 9 hits. Garcia struck out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He struck out 8, and Garcia walked 2. And let's see who the new hurler is for Quad City. He's a tall right-hander, and it looks to be John Mikrit. John Mikrit, who leads the league in appearances, pitched here earlier in the series, takes over. The third former Cub player who managed the White Sox, Tony La Russa. Tony played in one game as a Cub, opening day 1973, scored the game-winning run at Wrigley Field as a pinch runner for Ron Santo. Tony La Russa managed the Southsiders from 1979 until 1986. So the three former Cub players to manage the White Sox, Don Kessinger, whom Mike Langheim correctly identified to win the $5 gift certificate from the Springhouse, Eddie Stanky, and Tony La Russa. Now, thanks to State Farm Insurance agents Gary Schubat, Dale Thompson, Brad Dunn, and Al Shetler, we can tell you that this afternoon at U.S. Cellular Field, the White Sox stopped the Cubs 6-1. Right here, it's 4-1 Kernels, and we are in the bottom of the 6th inning. John Mikrit out of Northwestern, a Big Ten product, takes over, and he'll face Brad Kuhn with runners at second and third. And only one out. The infield is in for the Swing. Strike one called from John Mikrit. Mikrit spells his last name M-I-K-R-U-T. You would think it's pronounced Mikrit, but it's Mikrit. The 0-1. Grounded sharply foul. Pass first. Eric Owens, the Colonel first base coach, lunged at it. John Mikrit on for the 19th time this year is 1-1, a 4.35 ERA with a save. Mikrit has only allowed 12 hits in 20 2/3 innings, fanned 19 in 20 2/3, walked 8. John Mikrit is on the hill for the Swing, and he's ahead of Brad Kuhn, no balls, 2 strikes. Martinez at third, Larry Infante at first. 4-1 Kernels, and we're in the bottom of the 6th inning. John Mykrit comes set. The 0-2 to Brad. Curve, and Brad laces it foul straight back. Brad Kuhn spoiled a very good pitch from the right-hander. Mykrit was a shortstop at Northwestern. St. Louis signed him as a non-drafted free agent. He pitched one scoreless inning, striking out 2 and allowing no hits and no walks on Wednesday night in a 5-1 swing win. Mykrit delivers low, ball 1 to Brad Kuhn. The swing infield is pulled in on the grass for the play at the plate. Brad takes a fastball just inside, ball 2. Kuhn doubled to start the evening for the Kernels and scored in the 2-run first inning. Kernels on top 4-1 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Boy, that Mike Langheim is something. That was not an easy question tonight from the Springhouse. Don Kessinger played for the Cubs, managed the White Sox. Now Mykrit fires low and in, ball 3 to Kuhn. John Mykrit is a tall 6'3" right-hander, and he's 23 years old. Martinez walks down the line at third, a big leadoff second by Larry Infante, infield in for Quad City. And a foul up into the screen. Brad Kuhn's having a great at-bat. The temperature was 72 degrees when we started this action. It's now 68, but a fairly stiff breeze is blowing in from right center, and most people are enjoying this action in jackets, sweatshirts, pullovers. Kuhn, a line shot into shallow right. It's caught by Casey Roulette, and Martinez will not try to score. Brad hit a line shot, a sinking bullet that Casey Roulette caught. No chance for Brett Martinez to try to score. Oh, that's a big, big second out of this inning, recorded by John Mykrit as Kuhn lined to right. Now here's Marco Albano. Albano has walked and scored, singled and stole second, struck out. Brad Kuhn got good wood on it, but lines out to right. Marco Albano will try to pick Brad Kuhn up and do something big. A breaking pitch in for a strike. Again, the final on the State Farm Major League scoreboard from U.S. Cellular Field. The White Sox dump the Cubs 6-1. Albano takes strike 2 on the outside corner. Colonel Broadcast Assistant Luvita Hill will likely be along in the 8th or 9th inning, and later on, Luvita will give us a complete look at the State Farm Major League scoreboard. Chuck the Beer Man just gave us a wave. He's our equipment manager, Ron Pline's cousin. Swing and a miss by Marco as he chased a fastball low and outside. So, John Mykrit comes on and keeps the swing right in this game. The Kernels had runners at second and third after scoring a run with 1 out, did not add any more. 1 run in the 6th for the Kernels on 3 hits. No swing errors. The Kernels strand a pair and have left 7 through 6 innings. As we head to the top of the 7th, it's the Kernels 4, Quad City 1. This is Colonel Baseball on the Colonel Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Phil Andrews, your local Pekin Insurance agent at Andrews Insurance here in Cedar Rapids. Even though we all do our best to stay healthy, we can never anticipate when an illness or accident might strike. Couple that reality with rising medical costs, and the importance of a top-notch medical plan becomes clear. Pekin Insurance offers a wide choice of deductibles and a non-tobacco user discount. To explore the major medical insurance plan that best fits you, visit me, Phil Andrews, at Andrews Insurance.
Hi, this is Dave Town with Five Seasons Transportation and Parking. Do you ever wonder if it's safe to send your child on the bus? It is, and here's a few reasons why. All the buses in Cedar Rapids are equipped with security cameras, so the drivers always know what's happening behind them. The buses also have global positioning systems, or GPS, which means they can be tracked at any time by satellite. Does that surprise you? It shouldn't. Five Seasons Transportation takes safety very seriously, and we've taken many steps to make sure your child will have a safe, easy ride every time they take the bus. Even when your child isn't on the bus, Five Seasons Transportation is helping keep them safe by using pollution-free biodiesel and alcohol fuels, Iowa products that help keep the air clean. And if your child is ever in trouble, they can always flag down a bus for help. I'm Dave Town, and I like to think of the bus as a traveling safety cocoon, motoring along Cedar Rapids streets. And keep in mind, if the bus is that safe and easy for your child, maybe you should think about riding the bus to work. Affordable, convenient, and safe. That's the bus. Ride it.
Through 6 innings, the Kernels have out-hit Quad City 9-4, lead the swing 4-1. The final line on the swing ace lefty, Jaime García, 5 1/3 innings. He did allow 4 runs, 3 earned on 9 hits, struck out 8, walked 2. Nick Adenhart ready to set sail against Brandon Yarborough. The Kernels have a right-hander up and throwing in the right field corner. That looks to be Tim Madison. We also have a group of fun-loving folks in the Westdale Mall Mix 96.5 FM Whirling Waters Home Run Hot Tub. A curve is low, and now a fastball, a strike to Brandon Yarborough, who reached on an infield single his last time up. He swings at a changeup and misses for strike 2. Let's see who that Colonel right-hander is. It's Robert Romero. Robert Romero is warming up for the Kernels. Look out, here's that line drive foul up onto the above the grass slope seating berm that parallels the left field line. Breaking pitch down and in, and that's ball 2 to Brandon Yarborough. Kernels up by 3, 4-1 here in the top of the 7th inning. Yarborough fists the pitch foul into the rafters of the third base grandstand roof. Kuhn is playing the left-handed hitting DH. Yarborough into left center. Ball 3 is upstairs from Nick Adenhart. Nick is trying to post his 7th win of the year. A long way to go in this one. Top of the 7th inning, 4-1 Kernels. Strike 3 called, a blistering fastball on the outside corner. Gets Brandon Yarborough, and that is 5 strikeouts for the Colonel 19-year-old phenom, Nick Adenhart. And I'll reiterate what I said earlier. It's a real joy and streak of good luck for me as a guy who loves professional baseball and all that goes with it, the memories, the traditions, the fresh start every day, to see Nick Adenhart. It's really something. He winds and delivers, and a 1-0 pitch cut on and missed by A.J. Van Slyke. To paint Nick's windup motion, he starts with his hands below his chin. Then he raises them above his head, brings them down to his belt. A curve is slapped to the right of the plate with all sorts of spin on it. Adenhart fields it and tosses to Travis Schlichting. A.J. Van Slyke nubs one to the right of the plate and is thrown out by the Colonel hurler. That's another indication of what good stuff Nick Adenhart has. He has fielded numerous weak toppers to the left and right of the mound in his previous 8 starts, including 2 tonight in his 9th start. This guy is really something for a 19-year-old Nick Adenhart. Swinging a foul straight back by Bryan Anderson. We visited Polk Elementary and Kenwood Elementary Schools this morning on behalf of Toyota Financial Services, the Gazette, Culver's Frozen Custard and Butterburgers, and Bloomsbury Farm to promote our summer reading program. And Heinle Stacia, Colonel Shortstop, was with us. He didn't know, neither did we at the time, that he'd be given a night off tonight. One of the rare times Stacia has been given a rest. 1-1 to Bryan Anderson, the catcher. Big yellow hammer, the Uncle Charlie, is strike 2 called at the knees. 4-1 Kernels, bases empty, 2 out. Top of the 7th inning. Left-handed hitting Bryan Anderson. Rockets it foul down the left field line, out of play. Robert Romero appears ready to come into the game in the 8th inning. Nick Adenhart with the 1-2. Fouled into the backstop.
Your attention, please. Here are the names of some of the winners in the silent auction. Gene Vogt, Jeff Dace, and Tracy Hammond. Paying the prices at the auction table.
The 1-2 again on its way. And a swing and a miss, a pass ball off the glove of Flint Whipke. He throws to first, not in time. Oh, brother. And I believe a pass ball, a strikeout recorded by Bryan Anderson, on Bryan Anderson. And boy, we have had a rash of pass balls this season. And that's not pointing the finger at Brett Martinez or Flint Whipke. It might mean that the pitchers have very good movement on their ball. Or in this case, Whipke might have been screened off as the left-handed batter Anderson tried to hold up and couldn't. And then Flint hustled back 2/3 of the way to the screen where the ball laid, and he threw to first. It was close, but the batter Anderson made it. Ball won, a fastball outside to Luis Cotto. Cotto is 0 for 2 tonight. Robert Romero, the Colonel right-hander, warming up in the right field bullpen, last pitched Monday in Clinton. So he's well rested. There's a strike called to the batter. Luis Cotto. Breaking pitch, a wild pitch. It gets past Flint, and down to second goes Bryan Anderson. And that wild pitch, the second of the evening, unleashed by Nick Adenhart. Robert Romero readying himself. It looked like we were out of this inning. A check or a half swing by Bryan Anderson, a strikeout. On a pitch up and in, it looked like Flint Whipke might not have seen the pitch because the batter's arms and bat came right across the plate. Now a blistering fastball on the outside corner, strike 2. Deuces wild, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, runner at second. Kernels up by 3, 4-1 here in the top of the 7th inning. Cotto, the batter, takes a curve. It looked good from here. Ball 3. I don't know how he didn't swing at that one. And there's ball 4. So that pass ball on a strikeout has hurt Nick Adenhart. He issues his first walk of the game. The pitch was low and away, and here's Casey Roulette and a Mercy Medical Center heart-to-heart conversation between Colonel pitching coach and Nick Adenhart is about to unfold. Everyone who has a wonderful heart that's a compliment. Mercy Medical Center can help keep your heart wonderful with a heart-to-heart screening. It's quick, easy, and convenient. It could save your life. For your heart-to-heart screening, call Mercy, 398-6821, 398-6821, to schedule your heart-to-heart screening at Mercy. So Nick Adenhart surrendering a 2-out walk. It's first and second for the 198 hitting, number 9 hitter for the Swing. Casey Roulette, he's a right-handed batter. And he thumps one to deep center. Kuhn way back, and he makes a terrific basket catch. Oh, Casey Roulette hit a deep fly ball into straightaway center. Brad Kuhn, with marvelous speed and athleticism, went back and lassoed it in with a basket catch. Wow. Nick Adenhart gets Casey Roulette to sky to deep center. No runs for the swing in the 7th. No hits, a walk, a pass ball, a wild pitch. There were no Colonel errors. Quad City leaves a pair. They've stranded 5. 7th inning stretch time here at the ballpark, brought to us by Lindale Dental Care. Let's listen in for a moment. We go to the home half of the 7th. It's the Kernels 4, the Swing 1. You're listening to Colonel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Get ready for summer and beat high gas prices with a pre-owned vehicle from Randy Keel Honda. Their inventory is jam-packed with fuel-efficient vehicles designed to save you money. Get an economical sedan for your daily commute, or indulge your sporty side with a high-performance coupe. Randy Keel Honda carries a large selection of Honda certified pre-owned vehicles backed by a 12-month, 12,000-mile comprehensive warranty and 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Need to haul the entire family? For a limited time, you can get special financing on Honda certified pre-owned Odyssey. Whatever your driving needs, Randy Keel Honda has the vehicle for you. Visit Randy Keel Honda on Centerpoint Road Northeast or online at randykeel.com. Randy Keel Honda, where they treat you right.
When you're in the market to buy or sell a home, how can you differentiate one realtor from another? The distinction is clear when you consider the remarkable offer that Dick Ramsey of Skogman Realty makes. Dick Ramsey's offer is unprecedented. Buy one of Dick Ramsey's homes, and Dick Ramsey will buy yours. That extraordinary pledge bears instant replay. Buy one of Dick Ramsey's homes, and Dick Ramsey will buy yours. For the best home buying or home selling experience in Cedar Rapids, turn to the home team. Skogman Realty's Dick Ramsey.
Bottom of the 7th inning, and the Kernels lead it 4-1. John Mykert came on, and with runners at 2nd and 3rd and 1 out, got Brad Kuhn to line out for the 2nd out of the 6th inning. Struck out Marco Albano. Jordan Renz rolls the first pitch foul behind home plate, strike 1. Jordan so far tonight, nothing for 3. Swings late and misses, strike 2. John Mykert comes set with nobody on, nobody out, and wastes a pitch low and away. 5 o'clock start tomorrow. Fireworks after the game. Sunday at 2 o'clock start. The gates open at 1. It's a family fun Sunday, including dollar popcorn and the Kernels signing autographs from 1:20 until 1:40. Jordan Renz looks at a pitch at the knees for strike 3 called. 1 away here in the Kernel 7th inning. The batter, Dallas Morris. Dallas, a .233 hitting cleanup batter. 3 home runs, 16 RBIs. Dallas drove in his 16th of the year with a base hit into center in the Kernel 2-run first inning. Morris, an open stance. And he fists the first pitch foul up onto the grandstand roof, strike 1. Outfield is straight away for Dallas. This swing pitching staff with a 3.99 ERA ranked 10th in the 14-team Midwest League. Dallas Morris with a high pop-up behind the plate, and staggering and dropping it is Bryan Anderson. Bryan's only 19 years old. He's charged with an error on that pop foul. It was only about 15 feet behind home plate, just to the right of the plate. Anderson started pedaling his feet backwards. That's when you knew he was in trouble. Now a breaking pitch taken low and away. Strike or ball 1 to Dallas Morris. Kernels lead it here in the bottom of the 7th, 4-1. Mykert brings it, a changeup, and Dallas Morris swings and misses, strike 3. Well, that's the 10th, no, that's the 11th Colonel to strike out tonight. 11 Colonels have struck out. But the Colonels have out-hit the swing 9-4 and lead it 4-1. Well, what great rivalries do we have besides the White Sox and Cubs? We told you earlier on the State Farm Major League scoreboard, the White Sox beat the Cubs 6-1 at U.S. Cellular this afternoon. How about the rematch of the I-70 series in 1985? The Cardinals are playing the Royals at Kauffman Stadium. Look out, Bobby Magallanes has to dart out of the way of a foul ball lined past his belt buckle by Flint Whipkey. The bragging rights are on the line in the sunshine state of Florida. The Marlins are taking on the Devil Rays at Tropicana Field tonight. The Giants and A's in the Battle of the Bay. That's at the Coliseum. Hey, how about this one? The Orioles and Nationals at RFK Stadium. And, of course, the rematch of the World Series from a few years back in the Subway Series between the Yankees and Mets. That is at Shea Stadium. I like this matchup, too. The Twins and Brewers at Miller Park. Former American League rivals. Flint Whipkey dribbles a pitch foul off to the right. 2 out, nobody on, and Flint checks his swing. The ball caroms toward the on-deck hitter, Stantrell Smith. The Rangers and Astros are playing at Minute Maid Park in the Battle of the Lone Star State. And, of course, the Freeway Series. The Dodgers hosting our parent club, the Angels, tonight. Flint takes low, a fastball. John Mykert wears a long-sleeved Texas burnt orange shirt underneath his burnt orange swing top and also a burnt orange hat, burnt orange socks. A curve, and it's laced into deep right center. Rasmus on the run. Colby's there, and he reaches up to snare it. Flint Whipkey gave it a ride and flies out to deep right center to end the Colonel's 7th inning. Let's see if Nick Adenhart will return to the hill or if it'll be a U.S. Cellular call to the bullpen. We do have a U.S. Cellular call to the bullpen. We'll tell you about it as Robert Romero takes over. After 7, Colonel's on top of the swing, 4-1. This is Colonel Baseball on the Colonel Radio Network.
We're here for your communication needs. Internet service, telephone, and TV. As a cooperative telephone company, our members are owners who make a good team. Service second to none. South Slope Cooperative Communication.
Are you looking to take your baseball or softball game to the next level? The premier place to do it is Perfect Game, located across the street from Veterans Memorial Stadium. Perfect Game's professional baseball and softball instructors will help improve your pitching, hitting, throwing, fielding, and base running abilities in Iowa's premier training facility. For the best individual baseball and softball instruction and training, visit Perfect Game. That's Perfect Game, just a fly ball away from Veterans Memorial Stadium.
When it comes to making buying decisions, people let their fingers do the walking through Yellow Book Yellow Pages. It's no wonder. Yellow Book's packed with ads, coupons, restaurant menus, and more. Delivering to homes and businesses throughout the area, Yellow Book combines the features consumers want with advertising rates business owners can afford. To place your ad, call 1-800-YB-YELLOW. That's 1-800-YB-YELLOW. Yellow Book, not the other book.
We head to the 8th, and the Colonels, another outstanding performance from Nick Adenhart, the 19-year-old right-hander. 7 innings twirled. He allowed 1 run on 4 hits, struck out 6, walked a pair. Nick Adenhart was brilliant once again. He gives way to Robert Romero. Colonel right-hander answers the U.S. Cellular call to the Colonel bullpen. Get your wireless relief minutes only from U.S. Cellular. Robert Romero, 0-1 this year, pitching for the 9th time, all in relief, a 3.72 ERA. Roberts only pitched 9 2/3 innings, given up 4 runs on 6 hits. Struck out 7 and walked 3. Robert Romero, 21-year-old Colonel right-hander, facing the top of the swing order, Daniel Nelson. Fastball is a strike called on the outside corner. Ryan Aldridge is starting to loosen up in the Colonel bullpen. Daniel Nelson swings and misses for a strike. Strike 2. Monday is a dollar dog Monday night. The gates open at 5:30, a 6:30 start against the Oakland A farmhands, the Kane County Cougars. They're in second place in the Midwest League's standings. The 0-2 pitch is lofted foul out of play down the left field line. Quad City has a right-hander up in their bullpen. And the swing right-hander is Matt Trent. Matt Trent warming up for Quad City. Robert Romero with another 0-2 delivery. Low, and that one hit off the shin guard of the plate umpire. We should have our attendance in the next half inning or so. That's sponsored by Ahern Plumbing and Heating. Robert Romero fires a strike at the knees, a fastball, and he gets Daniel Nelson, who singled leading off the swing 6th inning. That's strikeout, the first out of the inning. Jose Martinez has driven in the only swing run of this game with a leadoff homer back in the 4th. He's homered in the last 3 games in this series. Martinez takes strike 1. Now a breaking pitch is belted fair into the left field corner. Digging it out of the corner is Stantrell Smith, and Martinez trots into second with a double.
Number 2, Centerfield, Colby Rasmus.
One on, one out, and the swing send in Colby Rasmus. That double by Jose Martinez, just the 5th hit of the night for Quad City. We're in the top of the 8th inning. A bouncer to first, a foul ball, fielded in foul ground by Travis Schlichting. Still time to sign up for our annual golf outing. It's coming up quickly, though. Wednesday, the 24th at Wildcat Golf Course in Schellsburg. You can golf with Colonel players and coaches. Carlos O'Kelly's will cater a meal after the golf outing. Call Jessica Ferguson to sign up. A change or a fastball, a swing and a miss. Strike 2 on Colby Rasmus. Jessica's number 896-7608. 896-7608. Lots of kids here at the ballpark tonight. The 0-2 from Romero to Rasmus. Swing and a tip foul, and it was held by Flint Whipke. 2 gone here in the 8th inning. We're going to call in broadcast assistant Luvita Hill. Luvita, I wanted to talk to you just a little bit about the promotion that we started last year, and fans got very enamored with it. They liked it. We've only gotten it off the ground a couple of times this year. It's called our Quad City International Airport AirTran Launch-A-Ball promotion, and it involves fans having a chance to toss tennis balls out on the field at hula hoop targets after Friday and Saturday night games. Strike 1 call to Randy Roth. It's an idea that involves fun. Here's a towering pop-up to the second baseman. Marco Albano underneath it. Has it. It had a hang time of about 5 seconds. Randy Roth pops to second. No runs in the 8th for the swing. 1 hit. There were no Colonel errors. Quad City leaves a runner. They've stranded 6. Luvita, how did you market the Launch a Ball promotion? I kind of left you to your own entrepreneurial creativity. How did it go?
I'd walk up to the fans and I'd ask them if they'd like to participate in our Launch a Ball fundraiser. And I explained to them that it was $1 a ball. It did happen at the end of the game, so if they didn't plan on staying for the duration, this might not be the best thing for them. I tell them, once again, it's $1 a ball and that they get to toss the ball into a hula hoop at the end of the game, and the hula hoops are set out on the field in front of the dugouts. And they all seemed eager. Once they heard about the gift certificates, they can get through.
And the possibility of qualifying for a round-trip ticket to Orlando. Luvita, thank you. That is one of the many different hats we ask our assistants to wear, and I'm glad you and Sonia Massey both weren't content to just sit at a table on the concourse. You do what's called grassroots guerrilla marketing. You enjoyed it.
Yes, I did. I enjoyed it a lot more than sitting at a table. I like to walk around and talk to the people.
And you told me you found a good group. Do you remember who they were?
I exactly don't know who they were from. I found a couple of good groups.
Great.
This group, I'm not sure where they're from, but they're sitting right there, right behind our dugout. The green shirt?
Yes.
The lady with the green shirt?
Yes.
They are a great group of people. They kept sending me back to get balls.
You know what? I bet, A, they're fun-loving, like you said, and B, they probably figured out from the front row they've got a pretty good chance.
They probably did, but they just kept sending me back to get more balls every time I came. We need 2 more. We need 4 more.
Man, that is wonderful. Well, let's see, Luvita. We've got a new pitcher on here, and I've been trying to step in to fill some of the great things you do on the air, but it's been since the first inning, Luvita, that I was able to share the exciting news about Tuesday afternoon's offer on the Miller Mezzanine Terrace.
Tuesday, May 23rd, that's this coming Tuesday, the Cedar Rapids Kernels will be opening the Miller Mezzanine to the public for the game against the Kane County Cougars. For just $11, you'll get a chance to sit in the Miller Mezzanine, and tickets can be bought at 12 p.m. for the 12 p.m. game. You might want to purchase these tickets early because they will go fast and they're very popular. And in my opinion, sitting at the Miller Mezzanine Terrace is the most panoramic view of the ballpark.
It really is. As Stantrell Smith swats a shallow fly into center, coming on to make the play, Colby Rasmus. Stantrell Smith, who has 2 of the Colonel 9 hits tonight, is flown to center. 1 out here in the 8th, and the Colonels lead it 4-1. Well, I'm glad, Luvita, that you had the experience. You'll have it some more this year, along with Sonia. We really believe it's a fun, interactive promotion sponsored by the Quad City International Airport and Airline. Travis Schlichting is up against Matt Trent, the new pitcher for the Swing. And a strike from Trent to Travis. When you're peddling those tennis balls, Luvita, fortunately there's not too much rigmarole to go through to explain what they're for.
That's right. It's really easy, and after about the 4th time, it just rolls off your tongue.
Well, thank you so much. And I wanted to let you know, because we got some positive feedback from a couple of listeners that have enjoyed your part of the broadcast. Swing and a miss on a changeup. Strike 3 on Travis Schlichting. 2 gone here in this Colonel 8th inning, 4-1 Colonels. We have an unusual phenomenon, Luvita, interleague play. And interleague play means National League teams play American League teams. A long tradition of baseball was broken about 7 or 8 years ago since they instituted interleague play. And we'll have you bring us up to speed in a little bit on the Colonel Curtin call, the State Farm Major League scoreboard, because we did find out that the White Sox beat the Cubs 6-1 at U.S. Cellular Field this afternoon in interleague play. And everything else, the only non-interleague game I think I marked on your scorecard, Luvita, it's in the National League.
Would that game be the Brewers and Diamondbacks?
Yes, that's the only non-interleague, or no, the Braves and the Diamondbacks.
Oh, I'm sorry, the Braves and Diamondbacks.
Yep, that's the only non-interleague game. Luvita, if you could hand the baton for just a moment, Jack Rader, if you have just a second. I wanted to see if Jack could spring the good news about the attendance. Ordinarily, Luvita, I wait until the attendance. Jack, do we have an attendance? Okay. Thanks, Luvita. Jack, ordinarily I wait like everyone else for the Ahern Plumbing and Heating sponsorship, but I'm really eager to know because Lubita was saying what a lively crowd it is, and they're having fun. What is the number tonight?
Well, don't quote me, John, but I think it's 2,378.
So over 2,300.
Yeah, terrific crowd. And like Lubita said, they are having a great time out here. So what a nice night, nice atmosphere, and hopefully a nice win.
Looks that way so far. Brett Martinez has had a great night on a 3-2 pitch. He swings and misses to end the 8th inning. Jack, you'll be glad to know that there'll be hundreds of tennis balls tossed on the diamond after the game.
Looking forward to it.
Jack, thank you so much.
Thanks, John.
We go to the top of the 9th. In the Colonel 8th inning, a fly out to center and 2 strikeouts by Matt Trent. As we go to the top of the 9th inning, the Colonels hold a 4-1 lead over the Swing. This is Colonel Baseball on the Colonel Radio Network.
When it comes to auto insurance, Westside Agency in Palo, your professional Pekin insurance agency, will make certain you're properly insured with the right coverages and deductibles. Westside Agency will tell you about the money-saving discounts from Pekin Insurance. Multi-car discount, good student discount, loss-free discount, 45-plus auto discount, auto home discount, low mileage discount. To see if you qualify for any of these auto discounts that will lower your premiums, visit Westside Agency in Palo.
Has your spring planning been delayed by uncertain weather? Get started now with a visit to Peck's Flower Shop and Garden Center. For the very best plant selection and all the expert advice you'll need to make your plants grow their very best, visit Peck's. The greenhouses at Peck's are bursting with colors, gorgeous hanging plants, rose bushes, patio plants, and blooming annual plants. Peck's has the newest, best bloomers for sunny and shady areas, and the best producing tomato, vegetable, and herb plants. If your spring planning includes new landscaping, contact Peck's for an estimate. Choose your landscaping plants and trees from Peck's, makers of expertly cared for tree shrubs, evergreens, and perennial plants. Visit Peck's Flower Shop and Garden Center, where Peck's knowledgeable staff is ready to answer your plant and gardening questions. Peck's Flower Shop and Garden Center, celebrating 50 years of growing since 1956. Peck's, located at the corner of Blair Ferry and Edgewood Road, Northeast.
That's Colonel Broadcast Assistant Luvita Hill with that great message from Pex. We have a U.S. Cellular call to the Colonel bullpen. Get your wireless relief with Call Me Minutes only from U.S. Cellular. Ryan Aldridge will try to save it for Nick Adenhart. A beautiful 8th inning for Robert Romero. He struck out 2, didn't allow a run, yielded a 1-out double to Jose Martinez. Ryan Aldridge working for the second time in this series. And he delivers a strike call to Brandon Yarborough. 4-1 Colonels, top of the 9th inning. Ryan Aldridge pitched Wednesday in the Colonel 5-1 loss. He gave up 3 runs on 3 hits in 1 inning, struck out none, walked none, and he whisks a fastball right by the batter, strike 2. The batter being left-handed hitting Brandon Yarborough. Strike 3 called at the knees. Brandon Yarborough's caught looking, and that's the 9th swing batter that has struck out this evening. Not only did Jack Rader give us the good news, Jack and I dropped the ball. Todd Brummelkamp noting that 2,378, our largest crowd of the year. 2,378. Our largest crowd of the year, and we thank Todd for putting that exclamation point on the crowd here tonight. That's great news. Ball 1 is low to A.J. Van Slyke. Now a fastball clocked at 89 miles an hour on the Bank Iowa speed pitch indicator is taken for a strike by Van Slyke. 4-1 Colonels, 1 out, nobody on, top of the 9th inning. And Ryan delivers high for a ball. Ryan Aldridge overall this season, 1-2, 6 saves, a 5.50 ERA. And ball 3 is down and in. Aldridge has pitched 18 innings, allowed 18 hits, struck out 29 batters in 18 innings, walked only 7. Let's see if Ryan can come back and get A.J. Van Slyke, a left-handed batter with an open stance, who's 0 for 3 tonight. Swing and a miss on a fastball. Van Slyke let it all hang out as Ryan Aldridge runs the count full now. Robert Romero, one scoreless inning out of the Colonel bullpen. The payoff pitch. Chopped to third on the second hop. Morris has it. On the crust it goes for the second out of the ninth inning. Dallas Morris had to move to his left on a high bouncer. He did and got his man 2 away here in the top of the ninth inning. Now the crowd comes alive. A season-high crowd of 2,378. Listen to them. I believe this is unprompted by the folks from Metro. Metro Studios can get this crowd in a frenzied pitch with what they put on the Rockwell Collins LED board, but I think this is spontaneous. A 1-0 pitch, hammered foul off to the left, strike one, 1-1 on Bryan Anderson. The Kernels trying to gain a split in this series, win their 20th game against 22 losses, and they're within an out of accomplishing that. Anderson, the batter, swings and fouls it straight back, strike 2. The Colonels scored a pair in the first and have never trailed. Ryan Aldridge is trying to help Nick Adenhart to his 7th win of the year. The crowd whoops it up. Aldridge with the 1-2. Curve, strike 3 called! And the crowd is roaring. Ryan Aldridge catches the left-handed batter Anderson looking. A 1-2-3 inning for Aldridge. His 7th save, and he helps Nick Adenhart earn his 7th win of the year against no losses. 4-1 Kernels will have the totals, highlights, and more coming up for you in just a few moments on the Colonel Curtain Call, as the Kernels congratulate one another between the mound and first base. Those hula hoops are heading out to the diamond for the Quad City Airport Transair Launch-A-Ball. 4-1 Kernels will have the Colonel Curtain Call for you in just a few moments. This is Colonel Baseball on the Colonel Radio Network.
Next up, a musical taste of Dr. Pepper. It's a new spin on an old vibe. From me to you, a tasty sip of Dr. Pepper for your ears, and it starts like this.
I'm a pepper, he's a pepper, he's a pepper, we're a pepper, wouldn't you like to be a pepper?
Now that's cool, but pepper is a little better. So let's slide in a taste of this. Right on. But there's still more to it. I mean, there's nothing like it, because every sip is a kick and mashup of 23 different flavors. So for the true taste of Dr. Pepper, we dial it up even more.
I'm a pepper.
You know it. With 23 flavors mixed into one bold taste, every sip is a cool mix of music to your mouth. Woo! Dr. Pepper, there's more to it.
Your home is a place for savoring all the good things in life. It's a place for celebrations. It's a place where memories are created. To make sure your home is properly insured, visit Sheets Forest Draper in Marion, your professional Pekin insurance agency. Sheets Forest Draper will give you all important details about homeowners insurance with complete coverages and surprisingly affordable rates. Visit Sheets Forest Draper in Marion for homeowners insurance for your well-lived and well-loved home.
It's time for the Colonel's Curtain Call. Now with a game recap, a complete look at the State Farm scoreboard, and a look ahead to upcoming action, let's rejoin the voice of the Colonel, John Rogers.
Thank you so much. And the Colonels gain a split in this 4-game series with the swing behind Nick Adenhart, who earns his 7th win of the year. The Colonels struck for a pair in the first. We'll tell you about that in just a moment. First of all, though, we want to remind you that you're enjoying Colonel Baseball right here on 1450 KMRY, Cedar Rapids. Brad Kuhn facing the swing best pitcher, Jaime García. doubled down the left field line to spark the Colonel 2-run first inning. Marco Albano walked. After Jordan Renz fouled out, Dallas Morris singled into center. Kuhn scored from second to make it 1-0 Colonels. Marco Albano went to second. Flint Whipke then grounded a single through the hole of the left side of the Quad City infield. That plated the second run of the Colonel first. Marco Albano and Nick Adenhart had a 2-0 lead after one inning. Quad City cut that lead in half. A leadoff homer, his third in as many games by Jose Martinez. A leadoff homer onto the Randy Kehl-Hoffinen's Picnic Pavilion in left by Martinez, and it made it 2-1 Colonels. The Colonels came right back, though, got a leadoff single in the bottom of the fourth by Brett Martinez, who had 2 hits tonight. Larry Infante then laid down a sacrifice bunt. The pitcher, Jaime García, fielded it, threw to the second baseman covering. Jose Martinez dropped it. The ball dribbled into the Colonel right field bullpen. Brett Martinez tried to score all the way from first. He was thrown out by the right fielder, Casey Roulette. But Larry Infante sped all the way to third. And Larry was at third when Brad Kuhn laid down a sacrifice squeeze bunt. It was a suicide squeeze. Kuhn drove home Infante to get that run back from the top of the fourth, and the Colonels led it 3-1. Then in the bottom of the sixth inning, the Colonels knocked out Jaime García, a leadoff infield single by Stantrell Smith. He had 2 hits tonight. Travis Schlichting bunted Stantrell to second, and Brett Martinez lashed an RBI single down the right field line to drive home Stantrell Smith, and the Colonels led it 4-1. Nick Adenhart gave up a leadoff single in the sixth inning, but Jose Martinez bounced into an around-the-horn 5-4-3 double play. And then Nick Adenhart struck out Bryan Anderson in the seventh inning, but a pass ball charge to the Colonel catcher. Then Luis Cotto walked, and that brought up Casey Roulette. He flew out to deep dead center field, where Brad Kuhn made a dazzling catch to extinguish that swing threat. The Colonels got 2 shutout innings of relief from Robert Romero, the setup man, and Ryan Aldridge, the closer, and win it 4-1. Here's the final line score for the Colonels: 4 runs, 9 hits, no errors. The Colonels stranded 7. The Swing run 1 run, 5 hits, 2 errors. Quad City left 6. Winning pitcher Nick Adenhart, he is now 7-0. Ryan Aldridge posts his 7th save. The losing pitcher was Jaime García, the fine lefty for Quad City, who struck out 8 in 5 1/3. He's 2-3. A season-high 2,378 we're here to see, a game that took 2 hours and 28 minutes. 4-1 Colonels. We'll have our PRC play of the game when we return here on the Colonel Radio Network.
Fairfax State Savings Bank is paying you to come to the ballpark every Wednesday this season. You heard right. Fairfax State Savings Bank is paying you to come to Veterans Memorial Stadium every Wednesday this season. The first 750 of you Colonel fans to enter the gates before Wednesday's home game will receive an envelope full of money inside from Fairfax State Savings Bank. Each of those 750 envelopes will contain a greenback up to a $100 bill. Fairfax State Savings Bank, free money Wednesdays. Come early to line your pocket with cash.
There's a lot you can do to satisfy your taste for Italian. You can marry one. Do you, Susan, Giuseppe Florentino? You can drive one. Or you can go to Zio Giano's and feast on Zio's homemade bread, pizzas, and pasta, authentically prepared at Zio Giano's famous Italian style. Zio Giano's for the hometown taste of Italy.
Come to Zio Giano's, the pasta makes you Zio. Come to Zio Giano's for real Italiano. Come to Zio Giano's, the pasta.
Hundreds of kids from Hoover and Truman, our Spotlight Pride schools tonight, are running the bases thanks to Velocity Sports Performance and St. Luke's. Nick Adenhart, bolstered by a 2-run first inning, pitched another dynamite game and leading the Colonels to a 4-1 win tonight. And it's time now to bring you our PRC play of the game. If you're looking for a career opportunity with a company with a great heart, visit PRC's website, www.prcnet.com. With the Colonels leading 2-1 in the fourth inning, Larry Infante was at third with one out. Brad Kuhn at the plate. Let's pick the action up right there with our PRC play of the game.
Bunt, sacrifice bunt by Infante. The throw dropped by the second. Here's a squeeze, and it works to perfection. The pitcher throws to first for the out, and wow, Eric, does that take gall and courage by Bobby Magallanes. One pitch before a pitch out, then Bobby put the squeeze on, and Kuhn got it down. Perfectly executed. Kuhn's bunt was halfway between the mound and the hill. In fact, it was on the dirt path, carved between the two. And Jaime García rushed in, fielded it, and as he did, Larry Infante streaked across the plate, and it's Brad Kuhn thrown out. It went pitcher to first base, 1-3.
And that was our PRC play of the game. The Eric I was referring to, Truman Elementary School principal Eric Christensen. Brad Kuhn's 13th RBI of the year, a squeeze bunt that brought home Larry Infante to make it 3-1 Kernels in the fourth, our PRC play of the game. The Kernels didn't connect for a home run this evening, but when we do, PRC steps to the plate in their fabulous Home Runs for the Hungry campaign, aimed to help reduce hunger in our community. For every Kernel home run, $25 will go from PRC to the Haycap Food Reservoir. The Kernels have hit 26 home runs thus far, and PRC's Community Care has donated $650 to the Haycap Food Reservoir. We thank PRC. Up next, to look at all the interleague action, Luvita Hill, broadcast assistant. I've seen over her shoulder that there are a couple of finals besides the afternoon action at U.S. Cellular Field. There are a couple of interleague finals from the East Coast. We'll have the State Farm Major League scoreboard for you when we return here on the Colonel Curtain Call. 4-1 Kernels. You're enjoying Colonel Baseball on the Colonel Radio Network.
The hottest feature in beautiful Veterans Memorial Stadium is the coolest place. It's the Whirling Waters Home Run Hot Tub. How can you and your friends relax and splash it up from the most coveted spot at the ballpark? Simply register at Center Point in Westdale Mall, and listen, if you're selected as the winner, you'll enjoy the ultimate entertainment experience. AquaJet stream comfort atop the left field wall in the Whirling Waters Home Run Hot Tub. Brought to you by Westdale Mall and Whirling Waters. Your chance to splash it up.
The Kernels even this series at 2 games apiece, gain a split behind Nick Adenhart and a save from Ryan Aldridge, 4-1. Excitement this time of year, our first round of interleague play with some real great traditional rivals and State Farm insurance agents. Dale Thompson, Al Shetler, Gary Shubat, and Brad Dunn bring us a look at the State Farm Major League scoreboard, and here's our broadcast assistant, Luvita Hill.
This afternoon with interleague play, the White Sox stomped the Cubs 6-1 at U.S. Cellular Field. Also, the Reds knocked off the Tigers at Comerica Park 9-4, and the Indians toppled the Pirates with a score of 4-1. At Tropicana Field, the Devil Rays edged past the Marlins 5-4, and the Red Sox tamed the Phillies at Citizens Bank Park 5-3. And those are the final scores from the interleague play. The game still in progress. At Miller Park, the Twins are ahead of the Brewers with a score of 2-1 in the bottom of the 7th. The Yankees and Mets are at Shea Stadium with a score of 6-6 in the top of the 9th. The Rangers are leading the Astros at Minute Maid Park in the top of the 6th, 2-1. And at Coors Field, the Blue Jays and Rockies are at it. Rockies are ahead 1-0 in the top of the 4th. Still to play, our parent club, the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, and the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium. At Safeco Field, the Padres and Mariners, and the Giants and A's at the Coliseum. That concludes our final scores for interleague play.
And Luvita, the only non-interleague game.
In the National League, the Diamondbacks and Braves went at it at Chase Field. Braves had it 5-0.
Fantastic. Luvita with the State Farm Major League scoreboard. It's a fun time of year with all those interleague rivalries, and Luvita highlighted them for you this evening, including the game this afternoon, the White Sox 6 and the Cubs 1 at U.S. Cellular. Tomorrow we'll be on the Zone. In the Zone, that is. ESPN Radio 1600, a 440 South Slope Communications Triple Play showtime. Fireworks after the game. And we'll welcome in the Kane County Cougars, the homestand record, the 8-game homestand record, even at 2 apiece with, or 2-2 with the Colonel 4-1 win behind Nick Adenhart tonight. It was a lot of fun. And the kids are all wound up. They had a blast here this evening. So did the participants in our fun Quad City International Airport AirTran launch-a-ball. Mr. Shucks is even looking like he's fired up down there. That guy never stops moving, does he, Luvita? Man, he's something. Well, for broadcast assistant Luvita Hill, I'm John Rogers. Thank you for being with us and starting your weekend in such a fun way with us here on KMRY. The final again, the Kernels 4, Quad City 1. This has been Colonel Baseball on the Colonel Radio Network.
Here on 1450 AM KMRY Cedar Rapids. It's 9:20.